Are you ready?
Yeah, I've been ready.
I'm born ready.
I'm born ready.
Born ready.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 2. Where it's just
episode 2. Where it's just 2 of us.
Naturally.
This is something that you know. I don't know if you kept
That I know.
Well, you certainly know it.
Oh.
There's a chance that they know
okay.
it. It's definitely mentioned before. It's definitely been mentioned before. There we go. Let me say that with vowels. Shay, who is not me, is 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And she lives in a house where I've never been in a house like this before. You know those upper cabinets? The ones that you don't use? The ones with the WD-40 in them? And the freaking, like, rusty wrench? Those ones? Yeah. She keeps, like, everyday necessities in there.
Well,
she keeps, like, paper towels and stuff in there. Guess where she keeps trash bags? On top of the fridge. Not in the top of not in, like, the freezer. Yeah, that would be wacky, but at least it would be reachable on the top. And she's like, can you change the trash? Oh, no. Loser. So anyway, I went to go make tea. Yep. And I was, like, looking for tea. I want you to guess where it was. I was like...
Didn't even think to look up there because you're so small.
What do you mean, didn't
tiny.
even think to look up there? It was like... it was just like where... There were more... There's a higher chance. This is a tea-forward household.
Yeah.
There's a higher chance that you were out
than
it was up there. Like, in my... I didn't think... If I had thought about it, I would have been like, maybe there's a chance that this freak puts her tea in the top cabinet. But I didn't. I just, like, put my brain on autopilot, and I was just like, they're out. And then I had to ask her roommate, who's short, to have some of his tea.
Yeah.
Because it was in the requisite location. And then we have tea now, though, which is the most important thing. So we will be appropriately caffeinated, except for you, who has herbal tea.
Except for me.
I did that on purpose.
Well, you know.
It's drugged.
It's poisoned.
It's poisoned.
In the middle of this episode, you're going to hear me die.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm going, well,
but, like, character-wise.
Your character might die. Yeah.
What I was going to say is also...
What were you going to say?
Hence, roommate. Both of the people that I live with are home. So if there's the stray sound of a voice that is not ours.
The stray League of Legends hype man shout of glee. That's that. And it's atmospheric, you know?
Yeah,
hopefully
somebody on the street outside the orphanage.
People on the street. They're really excited about League of Legends.
Yeah.
Big league
town.
Yeah.
All the Wethway soldiers play League of Legends.
Yeah, all the Wethway. Dude, they would, though, too. Freaking, I feel like Talenthi are more like Overwatch.
Oh, yeah?
Apex Legends.
I don't know. Something happened with Overwatch that now is like hinky. I don't know.
Oh, really? Did it get canceled?
I don't know.
Overwatch
I've heard that there was like problems with the game developer of Overwatch, or maybe it's Overwatch itself. As you can tell, I don't play a lot.
Knowledge of many topics.
This is like rolling like a 5 on a history check. Yeah.
In the event that Overwatch is not canceled, the Talenthis are more of the Overwatch. And then, like, Fortnite is, like, just Fingers and Ethiod. They play with each other because nobody else plays.
Fingers plays and the Ethiod watches.
He plays by himself because no one else plays Fortnite.
Yeah.
And I feel like all the kids at the orphanage play Fortnite on their, like, iPads that they don't have because they live in an orphanage.
And also in a universe where that doesn't
Well,
exist.
yeah, I mean, you know.
Well, Fortnite doesn't either. Maybe it does. Maybe that's like a game.
It's called Fortnite, and it's just you do something for a fortnight. Because this is a word that we use. We're going to play Fortnite. It's when you stay up for a fortnight.
All right, anyways. Recap.
Recap
time. Wow, what happened? They got a carriage from Senthit and kind of didn't super fill Senthit in on what was going on, but got his agreement to use his carriage and to help out Tavamil. And then very terse conversations happened with the folks involved. there was an initial one where if he wouldn't let Fingers go, basically like keep an eye on Taverniel and Thalen. And then there was one in the carriage itself where Fingers and Yezi kind of went off on Taverniel, and then Iffy went off on everyone.
Yeah.
She whipped or cracked her whip, you know. And big moment for Iffy, you know, being the loosey-goosey character.
Now she's the tighty-whitey character.
Yeah, fully reeling them in. We had a few more, maybe not a few more, I think it was just one more Iffy flashback of a time when she had to save Vatil, her former commanding officer. And then we had a dream of Lucian's where Taverniel was... Oh, also part of that intense conversation. Fingers decided that he was going to go back to the orphanage. They all kind of realized that they didn't really think everything through and left a 16-year-old kid and a defenseless man alone in an orphanage when they're both being sought.
Sought, baby! I mean, sought as heck, too.
And so that happened. So now the caravan going to the castle is one less. And then, yeah, so the dream that Lucian had it was a little nightmare that he had of Taverniel that woke him up and woke up Ethiad. And they had a bit of a conversation before Ethiad decided he was going to leave because he beefed it hardcore on the social dynamics of whatever.
Yeah, whatever the heck was happening.
He told Lucian he had a nice voice and then immediately was like, actually, why did I say that? It's like a 16-year-old kid saying, like complimenting some person and being like, no homo though. Fully... Yeah, man. Yeah. You can compliment somebody and have it be normal. And as Ethiad went to go downstairs, he heard some folks sneaking in and had some character development that didn't want to be a coward anymore.
Some character development that goofed my deal.
Well, you know.
My deal got goofed.
That's what I'm here for.
And deals and
for deals and goofing.
For goofing deals and I can't think of anything else.
All right.
Breaking hearts.
Yeah, there you go.
Ripping darts and breaking hearts, you were saying.
So, Ethiad, basically, you know, there's 3 thieves in the house. They were looking for Ethiad. He managed to bypass them and get into the room with Lucian where they had a very brief conversation of Ethiad being like, I'm gonna leave, and Lucian being like, okay. Ethiad going, are you gonna be alright? And Lucian being like, no. And he's like, alright, I'm not gonna leave.
And it's so funny. It's just like, I'm gonna leave. Are you gonna, Lucian literally was just like, well, goodbye. Like, he's just like, I'm going to die then, yeah. I guess. And then, yeah.
Which, the 2 boys are teaming up to get out of the orphanage and find out what happened to Meredith and the kids, which caused them to level up. Woo! Woo! Lucian's now level 10 cleric. Holy shit.
Level 10 cleric. Ethiad's level
3. With still, when I rolled for hit points, he has 16 hit points because he has a -1 constitution.
1 for each year of his life. A single hit point.
You gain a hit point for every year you've lived.
Lucian is, because he's a PC, I'll let you know, he has... Drumroll, please. Something like 82.
Holy shit. What?
Yeah, clerics are tanky, dude.
Holy crap.
He's hit pointed out, double thicked up on a Sunday with hit points.
My highest level character, well, Iffy's higher level than Vahrae, I'm pretty sure, but they both have 63 hit points. Those are like my highest amount.
Yeah, he's a cleric.
Yeah, well, Iffy's like part cleric.
Tank. Yeah, she's not like a full level 10
I guess
cleric.
that's true.
Yeah. Duh.
Wait, but they have the same. They have the same hit die modifier, so that's what matters. It's because you roll your hit die and then you add your Constitution. So Lucian must just have a great Constitution, or you were rolling like diamonds.
I guess I was rolling diamonds, baby. Everybody knows that. I only roll diamonds.
I think that if he has a good Constitution, am I wrong? Oh no, if he has a +1 to Constitution, so not that great. Not bad, but not great. Anyways. So they teamed up to go do that. And, yep, the group's on their way to the castle. The boys back home or...
on their way to...
who knows what?
Somewhere.
And, Fingers is on his way back to the orphanage. We don't know what's going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Ready to dive in.
Splash. You hear birds chirping. Outside, obviously. Because that's
Looks like a Home Depot.
You wake up in a Home Depot or a very large grocery store.
Yeah.
You hear birds chirping. You open your eyes and you know that it must be morning. Your internal clock has woken you up to get you ready for school.
School? Wow. Who am I?
You're about to find out. But the dormitory is the dormitory is dark. Extremely powerfully dark in the way that a teenage boy would want it to be in the morning. You have affixed with various implements to the top of the windowsill just a blanket. And somehow, despite having done that, this is your second week living here, there is a beam of sun that has made its way through the kind of like the part in the blanket, the space between the window and the blanket, and is laid itself directly over your eyes. And you can feel the like warm rectangle of sun just on that part of your body, and you don't hear anything else. You can barely see because it's so dark, but then there's just that.
Yeah. I think this is Vahrae, if I'm being... All right.
This is Vahrae.
I think Vahrae opens his eyes and he's like, oh. Like, fully just flips over on his stomach and, like, buries his face in the pillow.
Is there anybody else in this dorm room, or is it just you? Is it, like, a single, or...
I think that it is double. So it, like, him and then one other person.
Mm-hmm. And,
I'm not sure if they're there or not, though.
Are they?
You want to roll for it?
Sure. Roll. We'll do, like, 10 and 10. 1 through 10, yes.
I'll do a D4.
11 through 12. Or you can roll whatever you want, you know?
I'll roll a D4, make it easier. 1, 2...
1 and 4, he's there. 2
oh,
and
okay.
3. I get to be the DM. I get to choose.
What was the 1 and 4 he's there?
1 and 4 he's there, 2 and 3 he's not.
2.
Okay, so he's not there. So you flip over in bed. Do you have any intention of getting up? You know that you have school and all that stuff. Cool.
I think he's like, it doesn't matter if I'm late. I'll show up, and that's fine.
I'll show up at some point. You are a first year in high school, a freshman, if you will. And you are as a result of that, 13-year-old boy. Just for the record. So you are in every single capacity a child.
Yeah.
You're not like an adult to like 17 or whatever. You are properly a child. And so as you roll back over and continue to sleep as best you can, you hear just a knock on the door.
Ooh.
Wake up, it's time to go to school.
It doesn't matter if I'm late for the first class.
What are you talking about? It's not optional. And you hear like the doorknob turn and someone pull the door open and walk in your room. You're not even dressed yet.
I think he's gonna like lift his head to look at who it is.
It's like one of the older, like one of the seniors, they get tasked with like making sure that a set of 13-year-olds, like a set of first years, get to class on time. It's like, you know, what you like when you do model UN in high school to get college credit. It's like a thing that you can do to like look good on your whatever the heck. He's like a prefect, I guess, to use what I think the Harry Potter term would be. So he's a prefect. You don't know his name because he's told you and you don't care.
Yeah.
And so he walks in to the room. It's like stepping over like the old elvish equivalent of pizza boxes. You know, like whatever the heck. He's like, you're not even dressed yet, and walks over to the window with the blankets on it and just rips the blanket off the thing. You're engulfed in sunlight.
I didn't say you could come in here.
What are you talking about? And he's gonna like get in your face. Put your pissing uniform on it. Let's go.
Push him back out of his face.
Okay, roll a strength check. You have his sheet, right?
Yeah. 17.
Dang, bro. You like as you push him, because you have like a lower center of gravity, you like get underneath him and you like knock one of his legs out from underneath him. He has to like catch himself with both of his arms on the bed in front of you. You little demon. Just
don't get in my face.
He's gonna like grab you by the back of your shirt. Roll strength for that. Well, I guess I would roll, because if he got you, he would have you.
Yeah.
He's like 17 and you're 13. So I'll roll. Are you gonna dodge out of the way? Something like that. Okay, good. Roll acrobatics, and he's gonna roll athletics.
7.
Okay, you see his hand coming, and you go to duck, and his other hand like fists in the back of your shirt, and he's gonna like pull you up in his face, and he's like, fine, go like this, and he's gonna grab the back. He's like holding out of the back of your shirt, and he's walking you out the door.
Let go of me. I'll put on clothes.
He's gonna like stop and look at you and be like,
what?
Will you really? You know I'm gonna get an earful that you're late.
I don't care.
He's gonna like throw you back into the room. He's like, put your uniform on. If you're not down in 5 minutes, I'm coming back up here.
Whatever.
Hurry up, and slam the door.
And he's like freaking kicking the ground and stuff.
Stupid, I don't want to go to school.
And I think that I think his uniform is like crumpled on the ground, like just somewhere in a corner, you know, he just like threw it off or whatever. And it's just like, I think it's just like slacks and a blazer that you're supposed to just wear like a plain shirt underneath. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he's in already just like a white t-shirt, like that, you know, the equivalent to that. Yeah. And so he just like picks up the blazer and puts it on, just buttons one of them and puts on his slacks and stuff. And I feel like they're all freaking wrinkled and whatever. And I think that you're supposed to wear a tie. So I think he wraps the tie around and ties it in a knot because he doesn't know how to tie a tie. And
like, it's on. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, I fully don't care. And it's very like, you look at him and you're like, you got thrown together briefly. Like, you did not spend any time on how you look right now. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's specific shoes that you're supposed to wear, but I think that he can't find them. So he just puts whatever shoes on, looks in like a mirror, runs his hand through his hair, and is like, it is fine. And then leaves. Mm-hmm.
So, when you leave...
before he leaves, he grabs his violin case.
Okay, it's funny because I was waiting for that, and I was like, okay, no violin. So, here's a question. Do you have any of your, like, supplies, any school books or anything? Just my violin. Gotcha, very cool. So, you leave in your, like, trashy uniform and your violin only. When you start kind of marching down, what is he looking like? Like, was Vahrae tall as a kid, or was he like a little shorty? Or
no, because Vahrae at 19 is 5'8". So he's
short. Yeah. He's a little guy.
I think he's like, probably since he's 13, he's probably like 5'5", something like that.
Okay, so he's like short in his class and stuff. So, he can't be 5'5" then.
Why?
Because that would not be short for a 13-year-old.
Is it not? I have no concept.
I'm 5'4" now.
5'5" is tall enough for...
No, that would be he would be a tall 13-year-old if he was 5'5". He'll be tall for a 13-year-old. Use your imagination. Whatever the heck.
He's tall for a 13-year-old and then doesn't amount to the potential that it could be.
What?
Because he only grows to be 5'8".
That's true.
Everyone's like, oh, he's gonna be a tall kid.
Wait, is he tall as a teenager or short?
He's 19, and so he's 5'8" at 19.
Yeah, but at 13, would he be short or would he be tall
don't
just
know.
not grow? What do you mean?
I think he'd be tall for
He's not real. How short? He'd be tall for a teenager.
I think he'd be tall for like a 13-year-old, and then they're like, oh, he's gonna be a tall kid, and then he doesn't end up being a tall kid.
Okay, very cool. All right, so you go downstairs, and this is a like boarding school type affair, and your family is like rich, like properly loaded. Yeah. So it's very like the molding has like the flower of the crest of the school and that, sort of thing. Like the windows are very ornate, like gold.
Oh, like stained glass.
Yeah. Like there's stained glass ones that have like, they depict like, what would you like, historical figures that have gone to the school. You know what I mean? Like that type of schmancy. It's still like little boys live here, so there's like a hole in one of the walls that they haven't patched yet, like that sort of thing. But it's very like fancy schmancy. Your room is very dark and like messed up and stuff like that. But then as you go into the hallway, it's all like lit up, big windows, all that good stuff. And there's nobody in the hallway.
Okay.
And you would imagine it's because they're already going to school. Yeah. Like they've been woken up.
Is the guy that was going to escort me waiting outside his door, or is he... You imagine that he is in the common room downstairs, because that's where they wait to, like, take you to school. Vahrae is going to skirt around that. Like, he's going to try to avoid him and, like, go to the class himself. Like, he doesn't want to be escorted.
Oh, okay, he's going to try and go alone?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's going to be... some roles are going to be involved in that. So as you walk through, it's a fairly small school just because, like, it's for the, like, hideously wealthy, and there can only be so many. So you're on, like, there's, like, 3 floors of this dormitory. You're on the 2nd floor, and there's, like, rooms on the 1st floor, and then the common area, and then the door out, the only door out that isn't, like, a service thing that would involve... definitely you also rolling at least is through the common area, which is typically where they wait to, like, you're going to be escorted to school by one of the prefects because you're a 13-year-old boy. It's like a distance away that you would want to be escorted, and also like first few weeks to make sure you know how to get there. Like so you are going to, what is your game plan as you walk through the hallways?
I think that... So, is it... Obviously, he's been in the common area before, so is it, like, very open, or is there a lot of kind of, like, decorative pillars and stuff that he can...
There aren't pillars, but there's, like, one in the middle, just because it's a big, wide open room and engineering. But there's lots of, like, furniture, tables, chairs, that sort of thing.
And then you said that there are service doors, like... doors that lead to the outside but might have people who like work
they wouldn't go in the front door, like that type of money, where they're gonna go in through a door. They could go in the front door, but it's like closer to where they need to work, like that sort of thing.
Okay, I think you might just go through one of the service doors. Here's another piece of information. You definitely know that if you are not accounted for by this prefect, that you will be searched for, and that he will get in lots of trouble. Okay.
It's up to you what you like, because like you are literally a child, and that type of thing. So
he's still gonna try to avoid him to just like head the class himself, but he'll go through the front doors. Okay.
So as you walk down, you kind of enter the stairwell again, like not really signs of any people, and you walk into this like sprawling common area, lots of fancy furniture, dark wood and like velvety covers and all that good stuff. Big old windows. You see that the sort of last group of boys are leaving with one of the prefects to walk to school, presumably the one that was trying to get you.
Yeah.
Like, they were waiting, and he's just like, okay, he's kind of like, they're like, we're gonna wait outside. He's like staging the whole group for you to join, that sort of thing. And so they're walking outside, and to your knowledge, as for a cursory glance around, there's nobody else in the common room right now.
Okay. Yeah. He's gonna head outside and I think he's not too concerned about being seen. He's not, like, trying to be sneaky, per se, but he's not going to join the group and then start walking. He's just going to start walking to where he needs to go.
Okay, so you're going to walk out the front door?
Yeah.
So as you walk out the front door, you hear someone go, why can't we just go? Like, one of the presumably kids in the... Like, you hear, like, the mumbling of children, and then someone say that, and then you hear the boy from before be like, do you know how much trouble I would get in if one of you was missing? We've got to wait for Vahrae. Like, being very stern or whatever. And he's like, if he doesn't come down in 5 minutes, look, I'll go back and get him. But we're waiting for him here until he comes. I don't care, I'll be late for class. He's like getting the kid's like irritated, and he's like getting in his face about it. And you can hear general like conversations of just like the girl at the girls' school, strategically located across the way from the boys' school. That's right. Where would there be girls? I feel like there'd be girls.
There was probably like a West Scallery school for girls too.
Oh, snap.
Usually
and they're next to each other?
Yeah, usually they are.
Oh, how romantic. Yeah, you're at the West Scallery School for Boys, and then, like, close by, there's the West Scallery School for Girls. I feel like probably you have, like, the dance, you know what I'm talking about? Like, once a year, the ball where you and the girls get to, like, the guys and the girls get to, like, be like, girl, boy, girl, boy, they get to do that, and then, but it's just like the once, and they're not like supposed to interact with each other, but they do through like, not a chain link fence, because that's too modern, but the equivalent, they're just like
speaking
passing
through the drain
notes.
pipes.
Yeah, they're like passing notes to each other and stuff like that. So it's like, the girl we saw outside during free time yesterday, you remember her? They like that conversation.
Yeah.
She handed me this. It's like the unwrapping of like a note, and someone go, oh, like that, or being like, that maths test that we took yesterday was nonsense. That was nonsense. I studied so hard. Why do we have a test the second week of school? It doesn't make any sense. That I'm gonna have my mom have a conversation with the teacher. This is ridiculous, that type of conversation is going on.
I feel like Vahrae is hearing all this as he, like, opens the door, and he's just, like, he rolls his eyes because he's so, like, I don't want to talk to any of you jokers. Like, this is annoying. Like, kind of like this I'm better than you sense. And, like, just starts walking past the whole group.
And as you open the door, you like every head turns to you because they're just like, okay, cool. The sound of a door opening, I wonder who that is. And they like see it's you, and the prefect goes, well, very nice of you to join us. All right. And you just like keep walking on ahead. And he's like, I guess let's go. I'm going to be sitting. Nobody cares that I'm late. And like start taking the group off in the direction. And you're all kind of walking in this group. There's like, because there's multiple groups, it's like your section of the class, kind of sort of. It's only about like 30 of you that are going in this direction, and you can see other groups with other prefects. And this one is yours, is like hastening. Yeah, he's just like they're just like, will you slow down? And he's just like, no. Walk faster, you 13-year-old your children. I'm in charge of children. Like, he's pissed off about it. He's like, they said it would look good on my whatever. Why do I need that? I don't need that anyway.
No, you could quit.
He's like turns to, you're like in front of him, even like walking, and he's just like,
complaining so much, it's annoying.
He's like, he like looks at you and is like rolls his eyes and goes back to kind of silently just walking in that direction. He's like, it's like he's like, you got pissed off and then you were just like such a baby, and he's like, no, I'm not. You know, like that type of thing. And keep walking in that direction, and you hear one of the boys in the back go, yeah, Vahrae should be our prefect.
Absolutely not.
And they're like chuckling because you're like ahead, kind of leading the pack. And you just hear that kind of whatever you're talking about, nothing, like murmuring, whatever. And you hear someone go, Vahrae, did you even bring your school books?
What's it to you?
He's so cool. And you just like hear that like walking down there, and you hear the prefect go, he's pretty cool. I guess he's pretty cool. And you're like walking in the direction of class, presumably. And you're kind of like looking around. There's, manicured gardens and stuff like that. Like beautiful cobblestone walkways that you're walking down, like very idyllic. And you are 13, which means I wrote this down. This is the math. I'm going to read the whole thing out because I don't understand it.
All right.
But I did when I wrote it down. Vahrae is 19. He went to high school age 13 through 17. He's 5 years younger than Lucian. The war ended when Lucian was 20 and Vahrae was 14. 14? That would be 14. Yeah, okay, so the war ended when you were 14. So this is the last year of the war.
Okay.
That you don't know that yet. You just know that the war is going on, but that is where you are placed. So right now a lot of our soldier friends on the other side are having lots and lots of fun while you go to Fancy Boy High School. And there's like kind of like general talk of the war, like that it's going on, but it's so far away at this point, because being the last year of the war, it's about to end. The Horaviok and Talenthi clans are getting just summarily trounced at this point. They're getting taken to school, and so it's not really as much of a topic of conversation. Like it is, but not because of fear. It's like when the Steelers are dominating, and so the only conversation you have about the Steelers is how cool they are. There's no like upset. This is an extremely like, it's not like that at all. But what I want like the equivalent of something that is especially to a 13-year-old boy. So like it's like hearing about a war somewhere else. Like it's like a sports team level of like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Like I have a team that I like.
Yeah, and it's us, and we're winning, so why do I, whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's like generally like that conversation kind of goes on relatively often, like especially you boys, war is cool and interesting to you. And so that you hear kind of like a conversation, you hear like words like that would tip you off to that's what they're talking about happening somewhere in the crowd. You can listen if you want to, but if not, then that's fine.
Yeah, I think he's listening because I think he has a slight vested interest in the conversation just because of his parents' involvement in the war. So I think that he's a bit more ears up about it.
And you can choose this, it doesn't bother me at all. I know Vahrae knows that his parents grew water clary during the war.
Yeah.
How much does he know about it? Does he just know that that's a strategically significant thing that they're doing?
Yeah, I think that it's like bare minimum that you would tell
he doesn't
a child.
Know like the ins and outs of what it does and
know
why.
how much. Well, I feel like he might have an idea of how much they're growing because he is around like their whole deal, because his family owns a flower business, and so he has been around where they grow them and stuff like that, and I feel like they would use the same kind of area that they grow their flowers to grow this crop, probably because a lot of it was like we're gonna pay you to
make this thing for us. Have you mentioned to these boys before that that's a thing that's going on, or is that just something? Is that something they would know at all, or no?
I don't think yet. I think that he was really given a talking to before he went, where he's like, you cannot.
Don't be talking about that. Yeah.
And so far, he's decided to not.
Got you.
But mainly because I feel like it's like, I don't know anyone. This is second week of whatever.
Right. So you're kind of like, as you hear, like war, battle, fire. You hear, general war words. And as you hear that kind of nearing the back of the pack, you kind of like hang back a little bit to catch some of what you're hearing. And you hear, did you hear? They put some fancy Talenthi officer's head on a pike and paraded him through the streets. Who? I don't know. One of the ones who'd been giving us trouble since the start? Like that type of thing. Like stuff that would be like in the newspaper that would be getting around. And you hear another one be like, well, they were never smart enough to win this in the first place. I mean, they might have numbers, but they don't have our intelligence. Another one is just like, they never even got over the wall. Well, other than Herithia, but they deserved it. And like that conversation.
Yeah. What's Herithia?
You can roll a history check.
18.
Anyone would know this. This is extremely common knowledge because the war used to not be going well for the Wethwood clan. Like way back in the day when you were a baby. So this was not something that would have been, you would have been like just becoming lucid.
Yeah, like 5, something like that.
Yeah. When it wasn't going well, and during those first 4 years that it wasn't going well for you all, one major Wethway city called Herithia that was near the closest city to the border of the Talenthi clan. There's like a big wall that surrounds all of the major kind of city area, like the metropolitan area of the Wethway clan. It's a lot smaller than the other 2 clans.
Yeah. Like the Wethway clan is a lot smaller.
Like not like freaking, China to Sealand levels of like big small, but it is definitely that's notable. And part of the reason why the Talenthi and why did I make these names? Horvik clans were so like, we're gonna friggin' stomp these losers immediately. They had like destroyed other Wethway settlements, but that was the first and only in the entire war major Wethway city that got razed, like completely demolished.
Okay.
And the moment that that kid says, well, other than Herithia, but they deserved it, you hear another kid go, why don't you shut your mouth?
Vahrae's gonna look behind them.
So they all kind of turn to see who said that. He's a kid. He's farther away from you. He's not part of your group. You don't know who he is.
Okay.
And he is just walking to class in the direction happens to be near you all. Presumably, you would imagine that that's what's going on. What does he look like?
So he is, if this is Farniel, if I'm correct, I haven't met him yet. He's 2 years older, so he's about 15-ish. I feel like he's very green for a Wethway person, because I feel like Wethway people are varying levels of goldish green. Some are more pale gold green, some are deeper, darker greens, and I feel like he is a more green than gold kind of complexion, and it's pretty like dusky, like very like deep in color, and I think that he has really dark blonde hair where it almost just looks brown. And it's kind of pushed up and back in like a nice little style. Like it's very clean cut. And I think that he is a little bit taller than Vahrae. I think that he's like 5'7", about in that range. He's pretty thin, I feel like he's very like stringy looking. And I think that he has very prominent features, like a very prominent, nose ridge and cheekbones and jawline and all that. Like, it's a very striking face.
So you turn around and you hear this kid say that, and you see that all of the kids turn to like look at him, all the boys. Everybody's about like roughly the same height. Turn and see this older boy who's just told them to shut their mouth. And kind of one of the like bolder ones like gives him a look and he's like, "Why aren't you walking to school with the rest of everybody in your grade?"
"Because it's the most dreary thing in the world."
And the kid he opened his mouth to answer, and then you answered, and then he said what he said.
I feel like Vahrae kind of looks at him, locks eyes with him, and then turns and keeps walking.
The kid starts in again on the group, and it's just like, "I shut my mouth if I was you." Like, gives him a look and like keeps walking, and you hear the other boys kind of go, "Oh, okay." What was that about? And you hear them start to, we'll roll a perception check.
Okay. 16.
You hear them start to whisper about how he must be one of the pathetic weaklings that got impacted by the district, because he's like hurt by them mentioning it. There's a lot of, from your 18 history check, there's a lot of crap shoveled in the way of Harithia from being the only city to fall. Yeah, so like people from there, they have like a chip on their shoulder about it, and other, because now like you're literally taking the other armories to school. So they're like, how could you guys have fallen? Like, how could your city have fallen?
I feel like Vahrae, as he's continuing to walk forward, he doesn't turn around, but he just says, "You piss poor at listening."
You're saying it to the...
kind of like, he says it loud enough that people behind him will hear, but he is facing forwards.
You hear them kind of like their conversation murmuring kind of like stop, and then you hear one of them go, "He's so cool." And then as you keep walking in that direction, the prefect kind of like drops you off. It's just like, "Hey, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Skip a few, 30, okay." And then like he just like pushes you off in the direction of your classroom and just like tears off to his class. And it is high school in that you go to like different classes. You have different schedules, but you have different schedules because there's so many of you and they got to keep it organized by your class group. There's not like that many opportunities, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like a modern where you'd be like, you can go be a doctor, you can be this. You're all gonna be like socialites. So whatever you need to know for that's the class you're going to. They're like, we'll do math.
What's
maybe
on the schedule? How to have a tea party.
Yeah, tea party 101, like that sort of thing. Like, they're like, it's very like history and arts and letters heavy, and like music and stuff like that, and much less like hard sciences, that sort of thing. Like, it's like there are clubs for that where the kids basically get textbooks and teach themselves because that type of thing. And you walk into the first classroom that you have of the day. You have like a history class, and the teacher is like tall and stern, and like he looks like he was slammed in a car door. Like, he's very like skinny and like hunched slightly, and old as freaking, he's probably like 150 years old. He's like, "Children, come in, we're going to have our lesson now," and like sits you all down in your seats.
Vahrae fully falls asleep in the back of I feel like he sits in the back of the class and he fully falls asleep.
You walk to the back of the class, and the teacher's like, "Vahrae, Thornagold."
Whoa.
Are you asleep? Are you like, as you're walking back there, do you say that to him? Or
as I'm walking back there, I'll.
"That's not your seat. Your seat is up here. Please sit in it."
"Whose seat is it?"
And you see, roll a perception check.
Okay. 8.
You see next to you, the DC was like 1. You see next to you, like on your side, you hear like, ahem. And you look, and there's like a kid, and he's like, "Hi," like giving you a face, and he's like,
Congratulations. You get to sit up front. And he sits down in the seat that he's supposed to sit in.
Vahrae, I must insist you go to your assigned
I must
seat.
insist I just sit here. I don't see why it matters.
All right. He's just like, I don't want any more emails from rich people telling me they're going to send like a strike team to my house to kill me. He's like, today we're going to learn about the great king. You know,
Fully, yeah.
he like sits down and falls asleep. You hear like you know the time is passing because this isn't your first go around on this planet. And you hear like murmurs around you, and then you feel like a foot kind of kicking. You feel something like hitting your leg.
He like opens one eye.
You hear in the background, and the great bridge was destroyed in the 20th by one. You know that in the background, and you hear like one of the kids like to your right go, "Hey, Vahrae. There's going to be a party."
Party?
Yeah, some of the older kids are having it with some of the girls, and me and Majai, we're gonna crash it.
Crash it?
Yeah, we were wondering, if you wanted to come. Apparently, there's going to be some stuff.
Stuff?
Yeah. And he like takes one finger and rubs his nose with it.
Yeah, maybe I'll think about it.
Just he like looks at his friend, and they're just like,
I won't go with you though. If I go, I'll show up alone.
Oh, we were thinking that maybe we could all go together and that we hang out. Right. Like looks down. He's like, here's the information. Like passes you a little note. Note being passed. This teacher is so old and so focused on his lesson that you pass the note with no problems. And it's got like the date and time and location of this party.
Yeah.
He's like, it's going to be the senior boys. It's senior girls.
How interesting. I'm gonna get back to my nap.
He doesn't even care about girls. He's so cool. And they're like, it'll be us, and we'll be there, and then we'll get seen with him, and that'll be good for us, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And so you go back to sleep. It just like growing clout by the passing second while you fully asleep in your chair. And just for some admin, has Vahrae ever been around, know anything about like drugs or alcohol? I mean, I've presumably been around alcohol.
Yeah, I think he's drank before, but like in my parents
they
throwing
give you,
a party. Yeah, they give me a glass of wine.
A modicum of booze.
I think that he has tried once to try water clear, like to use water clear, because he knows it like does something, but he doesn't really know what it super does because he's 13. They're not gonna freaking tell him the intricacies of.
Did you use it?
I think that he tried to. I don't know if I don't know if he knew how that you were supposed to like dissolve it in alcohol. Mm-hmm. So I think he like just chewed on a leaf, and I don't know if that would do anything at all.
I feel like you chewed on a leaf and you're like, well, I don't know why we're growing this stuff. Maybe it's really nutritious or something. Would you, okay, so you that's the ruling, is that you tried to use it but you didn't know how.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So do you have you would have general knowledge about alcohol. So this would not strike you as interesting just because it's a fact of life, but for our dear listener, high elves are they have an extremely high tolerance to alcohol and drugs. Like anything like that, they're much more powerful against. So like when you had this alcohol, like wine or whatever, at your parents' house, it was like 100 proof. Like it's like, this will kill a man, like a human man. They would be like throwing up immediately.
Yeah.
But that's the amount that would get them actually drunk. So something like a beer is basically soda. Like you Vahrae Thanagold in your, am I saying his last name right?
Yeah, Thanagold.
Could get a beer in the dorm.
Yeah, and have nobody.
Yeah, it's like kombucha levels of it does nothing to you. And so the idea of like there being alcohol, you imagine that, and you imagine the absolute worst tasting substance you can imagine consuming. Anyway, so there's that. Like your parents handed you like freaking Drano to drink, and you were like, you guys drink this all the time. Ooh, I feel nice. I feel real nice. And cocaine is like a shot of espresso, like that type of thing, where it's just like you get a little like, ooh, clean my house, but you're not like just breathe. Yeah, you're not like a high for real. But like that sort of thing would obviously if and this whatever if like a human took it's the same on like it would be on a human. But high elves are just like really intensely strong against that sort of thing. The fact that they have cocaine would be like a slap on the wrist. It wouldn't be necessarily alcohol, because you can get like properly whatever. You would have to do like the bear that went on the rampage levels of cocaine for it to have the effects of cocaine. I think more than a nose could absorb. Yeah. Anyway, I would say that typically like high elves don't use like hard drugs like that, because the amount that you would need is so much more, and they're like it's still illegal. Because you need like a ton of it, so it's like, oh, just do other stuff, but you guys are rich and you have access to whatever you could possibly want. So I rescind what I said. You would get in trouble for it.
Oh, okay.
I would say, you'd get in trouble for it, and it would definitely, if you did the amount that a human did, it would just be like a shot of espresso. If you did like just loads of it, then you would get properly high. Can you imagine? I've never done cocaine. You're probably shocked to hear that. But can you imagine like just 28 lines you have to snort in order to get high on cocaine?
Would that
it's really not worth it, but every once in a while your nose bleeds like crazy.
That's what gets you high, is actually
the blood loss, yes. And so that's your future. Like that's what you're looking forward to. And school like passes as normal. You get some kindly soul like kind of kicks you awake and is like, we're going to the next class.
What is it again?
Well, they've already left. I don't know. I'm in this class and you're in my seat. So if you could sort of go with them, that'd be great.
Yeah, I guess. Like gets
up. You get up, he sits down, and the teacher of the next class is looking at you like, is this kid freaking serious? It's like a lady, and she's like, run along now. Like, goes to teaching the class, and as you walk out, you open the door to leave, and you realize that your entire class is gone. And roll a history check to see if you remember what class you have next.
14.
You do remember, so you head off in the direction of their sort of farce maths class. That's like, this is a 4.
I think that this is a 4.
This is a 4. This is a 3. You add them together, and I'm carry the 1 8, I think. Anyway,
I think that he realizes that like he's like walking in that direction and kind of thinks about it. He's like, I'm already not there. He's just gonna.
Clearly, that's not a big deal. Yeah. Okay, so just take off. Yeah. Friggin' okay. With what? What's your heading? Are you just gonna roam around?
He knows that there's a music room somewhere. So I think that can he roll history to see if he remembers where it is?
Yeah.
Baby, he remembers. Hold on. 21.
Yeah, you fully remember. It is on the 2nd floor, and the only thing is there might be a class in it right now. That's the only thing that might negatively impact the experience of that. You can go find out.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go find out to see if there's a class.
Okay, I will roll a check. So you go up the stairs, and again, the school, it's like in the same kind of style as the dormitory, but there's a lot more decorative, because people don't usually go to the dormitories. People go into the school, like people that they're trying to impress with money and power and like, give us your kids and your money, but mostly your money. And so there's like the crest and the name of the school and the, you know, everywhere. Your mascot is a goose.
That's good.
A goose, a golden goose. That's the mascot.
To think of, like, the dumbest,
the stupidest, dumbest, and they're
I was gonna say like a freaking like, what are those weasels? I don't know.
Weasels?
What are they called? Stoats. Anyways, it's a goose.
It's a goose. It's a golden goose. So there's like golden geese, like painted in like gold leaf on the wall, that sort of thing. And you're just walking past it, going, screw this whole place. You walk to the music room. As you're walking there, you don't hear music, you don't hear the talking of teachers and the complaining of students and the, you know, that sort of thing.
Cool. He's gonna go in.
Cool. Are you just walking in like you're not trying to be quiet or anything like that? Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Unnatural 20.
Straight up?
Yeah, straight up.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, so you walk into this music room. Your intention, I'm imagining, is to play some music.
Yeah.
Perhaps. You walk into the music room and there's, you know, chairs for a class, set up for a class. There's a podium. There's like a baton, you know, conductor. And like cubbies with musical instruments in them, in the case, all that good stuff. And as you kind of walk in that direction, you hear in the far off corner someone, it sounds like stepping on a piece of paper.
Someone else in here.
You hear no response.
You're not being sneaky, I heard you. You've got to see if there's stuff on the ground if you don't want to be seen. I heard. We all got massive ears.
You hear no response.
He's gonna, like, shut the door and take a couple steps more, like, into the room.
Okay, so are you walking in the direction of the noise?
Yeah.
And you're not trying to be quiet
No.
or anything? You hear a voice go, "Go away."
No. Oh, you won't be alone?
Yeah, I won't be alone. What do you think I'm in here?
Alright, then you get out.
He's gonna, like, you don't see him. You hear a voice that's kind of like behind a bookcase type thing. And as you say that, then you get out, you see the kid from earlier.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, he steps around the corner to look at you, and his nose is pouring blood.
You're right, bruv.
I'm alright.
Your shirt's drenched, mate.
You think I'm stupid or something?
Alright, I guess you know that you're bleeding out of your face.
He, like, takes a handful of it and, like, wipes it on his shirt.
What's that from?
My nose.
Oh, funny. Or you just one of those babies that get nosebleeds all the time?
Yeah.
Ran in here, embarrassed.
Aren't you like 13? You're supposed to be in class.
Well, aren't you, like, also supposed to be in class?
Well, I've got a nosebleed, don't I?
And you're fixing that in the music room.
Yeah.
By filling your hand up and rubbing it on your pants. Doesn't look like fixing much to me. He's gonna, like, set his violin case on the ground and open it. I'm not leaving, so...
What did you come in here for? Just play the violin?
Yeah? What about it?
In your free time?
Something funny about it?
Yeah.
Oh. Enlighten me.
It's for girls, isn't it? He, like, chuckles a little bit, like, wipes more blood.
He, like, pulls out the violin and stands back up. And he's like, well, girls like it when you do stuff they like.
Do they?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. He's gonna like go kind of to the far wall. He's still, because you're in the corner, he's still pretty close. And he's gonna kind of like lean his back against the wall. And like sniffing blood in his nose. He's like, okay, go and then play me something.
Play you something?
Yeah.
I don't play on demand.
Alright, stand there with your violin.
Go play myself something. You could just listen.
I'll cover my ears.
Yeah, with your bloody hands.
Back's against the wall. He's gonna kind of like slide down it and sit on the ground, cross-legged, and cross his arms, and kind of like give you like a go and then like head nod in your direction.
He's like kind of stands up straighter and tucks it under his chin and starts to play. And I think when he plays, he like closes his eyes because he's just like fully trying to listen to it. And Vahrae's been playing since he's 13 now, since he was like 8, like started pretty young. And part of the reason why his parents sent him to this school is that they have like a really good music department, and they're like, oh, he can hone his skills at this school, like, you know, whatever. Everyone's just like, I can play my instrument, great. I don't
I'm doing
care.
that anyway.
Yeah, I don't care where I
How
go.
many hours a day do you play usually?
I would say probably a minimum of 4 hours a day, but a lot of times more, because he's just like, I don't care about anything else. I don't want to be home. I don't have friends really. Like, I don't care to mingle with people. And so he'll just constantly have his violin on him. And I think when he starts to play, he kind of like does a scale first, gets his like bearings, and then I think he starts to improvise something. And I think it's very like, it starts out where kind of, you know, typical violin music where it's very melodious and kind of like dinner party-esque. And then I think he starts to veer from that and go into something more
Experimental.
Yeah, like kind of chaotic and spooky almost, where it's like you're listening to this and it has the capacity to sound like somebody's like screaming, like, you know, like horror movies have like the violin quality to it. I think that he starts to like go into something like that.
So you'd see, like, as you start playing, you see this kid who's like watching you before you shut your eyes. You see he was kind of like wincing because he's like, okay, 13-year-old boy about to play the violin. I'm about to hear the worst noise I've ever heard. And he hears you do the scale, and then all of a sudden he's like, his eyes like open up and he's like, wow. Because you do it like fast because you're really practiced at it. And then you shut your eyes. You start playing this like dissonant music and getting really into it, and then you hear a voice go, will you stop that? My ears.
He like stops and like his bow is still on the strings, and he opens his eyes and he looks at him.
I'm gonna make my ears bleed too.
What, you don't like it?
Who would like that?
Me. That's all that matters to me. Like I said, I'm here to play, so don't like it, you can leave.
All right. And he like stands up off the ground, and his nosebleed is stopped. He's kind of like tried to deal with it in a way that makes it look not there, but it's all over his clothes.
Yeah.
It's not really on his face anymore, and you can tell. Roll a insight check.
Okay.
Or investigation check.
10.
You can see now too that one of his eyes is like starting to get a little swollen, and like blacken a little bit. It's like a purpley color.
Oh, you got punched in the face. Is that why your nose is bleeding?
Is that funny?
Who beat you up? Lost a fight and you need to lick your wounds.
I was bleeding everywhere, wasn't I? He's gonna, like... He was, like, fixing to leave, and he's gonna turn and kind of, like, step up to you in your direction, and he's, like, a head taller than you.
What?
What?
Don't pick fights that you can't finish.
It's good advice. And he's gonna blow the, like, last drops of blood that were on his upper lip in your direction. Just... And he's gonna just, like... dip around you.
Vahrae is full.
Like, walk out the door.
Vahrae he puts his freaking violin down and grabs the kid by the collar. He's gonna fight this kid.
Okay, do it. Roll athletics.
All right. 16.
Cool. So you reach your arm out to grab him. Mm-hmm. What do you try? You could probably get, like, his middle back.
Yeah, like just any part of his clothes to, like, yank him back.
Yeah. As you do that, he like, he's like, okay, this kid's gonna be pissed. He got a sense that you're a little spicy.
Yeah.
And so when you go to do that, he, like, feels on the back of his neck your kind of closeness and just kind of, like, dodges out of the way. You don't even get a hand on his clothes at all. Dodges out of the way and turns to face you and kind of cracks you a smile. And he's just like, if I fight you, I'm getting kicked out for sure. And
what do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
You don't know me.
Little Thanagold boy, everybody knows you.
What's your name?
Farniel.
Farniel. Stupid name. What, you got something to say?
Nothing I can back up. And he's gonna, like, turn around and keep... Like, he's kind of looking at you because he's like, I really can't be getting in a fight with you, you know?
Yeah.
So he's, like, making sure, but he starts to, like, make his way back out the door.
You know you could fight me.
I'd wear you out.
Oh, you wear me out?
Of course.
You think I'm going to run to my parents? Crying to mummy and daddy?
You wouldn't have to.
What do you mean?
I'm on thin ice, as it were.
Thin ice?
He's gonna he's, like, walking out the door as you have this conversation, like, progressively louder as you make distance.
I think that before he's gonna leave, I think he's gonna drop he doesn't care what he means by thin ice, really. He's just, like, kind of curious.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just gonna be like, hey, you going to that whatever party? I don't...
What party?
He, like, fishes out the invitation or whatever. He's like, I know, got handed this. Guess seniors are having some kind of whatever.
I'm not a senior.
Neither am I.
That's for sure.
I'm going.
Congratulations.
Take that as a no, then.
Guess you don't understand what thin ice means. And he's gonna, like... He's, like, halfway out the door of the music room. And, he's gonna, like... He's, like, leaving, like, actively opening the door to leave it. And then he kind of, like, steps back and he shuts it. And he's like... You don't have to take my advice, but... You shouldn't go.
I shouldn't go?
Yeah.
Why?
It's bad news.
What do you mean, bruv?
He's gonna kind of, like, turn like he's gonna leave, and he's like, don't be stupid. Your kids, they're almost adults. I know you can get away with murder, but it's not good for you. Not for a kid. Believe me.
Why do you care? Don't know me.
Guess I'm a good person.
Good person who gets black eye. Were you punched for being the good person?
Maybe someday I'll tell you why. Be good. And he's gonna, like, duck out the door and leave.
I think Vahrae like opens his mouth to the be good, and he's like, what? You know, going to say something, and then the door shuts, and he's like, what? Who was that?
Yeah, what was that about?
And I think that he kind of like sniffs his nose and runs his hands through his hair, tucks his violin back under his chin, and starts playing again.
Mm-hmm. And as you now, that memory kind of fills your mind as you're running back to go find out what on earth that they were talking about. What on earth Farniel was talking about when he sent you that, when you talked to him.
Yeah.
You're not the only one reminiscing, as it were. In transit, even. And maybe, you know, even while that's going on, somewhere else there's another forest. Another beautiful forest. I mean, the Wefley Forest are more sort of jungle, swampy.
Yeah.
They're a lot more like drippy and viney and all that good stuff. The Talenthi forests are a lot more like forest proper, like dried leaves and all that.
Yeah.
And another place and another time, there were two Eladrins taking a walk in the mountains, and it's definitely chillier. It's not freezing cold, but it's getting cooler, like, you know, mid-autumn type thing. And you and Lucian are taking a walk, a little stroll in the forest. A little pre-dinner stroll. Lucian has been at work all day long, and even the fact that he is having this stroll, it's very like doctor on call, like tenuous. There's that sort of sense that at any point it could be interrupted, and he's with great pains trying to ignore that feeling. You know that, and you can you get the vibe that that's what's going on, and you're taking a walk. You guys are a nice chaste 3 feet away from each other. This is like pre-bad times of starting.
Yeah. So like pre-water Clary?
Pre-water Clary, yeah. Pre-all that, pre-earthquake, pre-all that going on. So there's the sense that this is how it is. And there's like a sort of contentedness surrounding that. Like a contentedness and the sort of the temptation to think that perhaps there could be more, but no, because this seems to be what we're doing. Like, you know, Tavamil trying to understand what her feelings are.
Yeah.
Like, you're there in that kind of place.
Yeah.
And you've been walking in silence for a while. Lucian, you had a plan to go on a walk before dinner. Lucian came over, kind of walked in, and then you both kind of wordlessly walked out like that. And you haven't really talked yet, just because you're both thinking about other things, but together, and you're just walking in the forest.
Do you think that
Lucian kind of starts and like turns and looks at you?
Do you think that I couldn't?
Do I think you could finish your sentence?
Well, I'm thinking.
Well, don't you do that first and then start talking?
No.
All right.
Why would I have to think about it first?
I don't know. Typically, that's what I do.
Really?
Yeah, that way I'm not... Do you think that for 3 hours before I start talking?
Well, I know what I want to say. I just don't know.
Spit it out.
All right. Do you think that I could make a plant that could grow during the winter, like a food plant? Because there's a lot of plants that grow during the winter, like holly and ivy and trees and stuff like that.
Do I think you could make a plant? Oh, I don't know how it works at all.
Me neither.
You neither.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't know, read a book?
I'm not very good at reading.
I guess not.
Could you read me a book?
I don't know. Probably take a lot of time.
Why?
I don't know, explaining the scientific concept of plant breeding. I've no clue.
Well, I do that all the time.
What do you mean you do it all the time? Are you planting seeds, no?
No.
By all means, don't elaborate.
All right. So I was thinking that I could maybe put two plants together. One that likes to grow during the winter, or one that maybe it grows later in the fall, and then one that is like a plant that I would want to eat during the winter, because I always miss my favourite foods during the winter, because we can only store like apples and potatoes and carrots, but we can't store like tomatoes and watermelon.
Who needs them? They don't grow during the winter, I don't care.
I care.
Besides, animals grow year round.
I don't like eating meat that much.
Truly something wrong with. That's why you're so pathetically skinny.
I'm strong.
You can be strong.
I could pick you up.
You think so?
Mm.
Do you want to try?
Yes. She's gonna grab him around the waist and try to lift him up.
Go ahead, roll a perception check.
Okay. 11.
You feel, when you put your arms around his waist, you feel his whole body like tense up. And he puts, you know, that sort of like, I don't know where to put my hands type thing is like what he's like hover handing your shoulders kind of. And we're just going to heft him into the
Yeah.
He's like, right, lift with your knees.
Right. Do I have to roll for this?
Yeah, you got to roll for it. What are you talking about?
What? Athletics?
Yeah, athletics. I'm trying to think. What we discussed, he's 180 pounds.
Yeah, I think so.
That's pretty good for, you know.
I don't know.
You can probably lift him into the air. Your goal, you're just trying to put daylight between his feet and the floor. Okay, yeah, that's probably like a 7.
Like a 7 DC?
Yeah, DC 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
18.
Oh, snap. So you get like a good bend in your knees, and Lucian's like, all right, you like grab him and you like yank him upwards. It's like if you go to pick up something that you think is going to be heavy and then it's not, and you like launch him backwards. Go ahead and roll me a, what would it be?
Dexterity?
Yeah, like a dexterity saving throw to see if you can like not like suplex him behind you.
Like she falls over?
Yeah, like you guys both fall over.
17.
Oh, okay, cool. So he's like tough and like leans really far forward, and he's like puts his arms out like he's afraid you guys are both gonna hit the ground, and you like put one foot out behind you like a kickstand to like steady yourselves, and he's like, all right, you made your point, put down.
Just puts him down. I carry heavy stuff all the time.
Do you let go?
Yes.
Okay. So you put him down and you like let go.
Yeah.
He's like kind of like looking at you like you're insane, like laughing, but like wide-eyed. He's like, I guess so. It was quite impressive.
It was.
Throw me around like a rag doll. Don't see if I can pick you up.
Sure.
He kind of like shakes his head and just starts walking.
I feel like she follows and she's like, wait, you have picked me up before.
Once or twice.
Mm.
You've got to make it a challenge for me, though.
How so?
I don't know, it's too easy.
Do you want me to thrash around?
He like puts one hand on his chest. He's like, that's not what I mean.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't know. You know. I've got to work out somehow, no? Gain a bit of muscle. Start, you know, carrying rocks in your pocket or something. Make it a challenge.
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah, you know, winter's coming.
What does that have to do with carrying
We're going
me?
swimming.
Oh.
I want to look impressive for the penguins. There's no penguins around there. For the, snow foxes and stuff.
Snow foxes?
Yeah, got to intimidate them. Show them who's boss.
Why do you have to intimidate them? I'd want to be friends with them. They're very pretty.
They are. I'm only joking.
Oh.
I just mean I'm going swimming, so...
Isn't that good exercise?
Yeah, but, golly.
What?
Never mind. You're rolling an insight check on the joke he's trying to make.
17.
If Lucian swims by himself, he takes his shirt off. And the reason that you know this is because you've seen him do it and then watched him, drown himself trying to, not have you see him shirtless. And so you put together that he's making a joke about wanting to be shirtless for nobody and it looking nice. That's the joke.
Oh, do you mean looking nice when you're shirtless?
Yeah, for no one.
Oh. Why would that...
It's not that funny of a joke, Tev.
All right. Why would that matter?
It doesn't. That's why it's a joke.
Oh.
He, laughs to himself. You guys keep...
I feel like she's just staring at him I really don't understand what we're talking about.
He's gonna, turn and say, I said that you should make it more of a challenge for me to pick you up so that I would gain muscle, so that I would look good shirtless.
But you already do.
He goes fully word gets caught in his throat, and he blushes he's a deep purple and just kind of looks down at himself and just turns his head and keeps walking.
What?
I don't know that you've seen me shirtless enough times to make that judgment.
Maybe not, but I don't think that matters anyways. I think that you're really handsome, but I think that that's just something about people that is the least important part about them. And also, I don't think that everybody thinks the same way, although I'm not really sure because I think that you're handsome, and I don't think that anyone would disagree, but maybe there are some people that don't, and I don't see why they would think that, because when I look at people, I feel like people just look like people, and then some people look real special, and then they look even more special when you get to know them, because you look at them and they have the nose and the eyes and the mouth and the face of the person that you love. So you have the face and, I guess, the chest, don't know, torso of the person that I love. What?
Nothing.
Do you not agree?
He's walking. When you were saying this, you guys are still walking. He slowed down considerably and just started kind of staring straight ahead. If you want to roll an insight, I'm gonna. You go for it.
7.
Lucian thinks he's probably thinking, he's probably realizing it for the first time, and he's just oh yeah, that must be true, it's that sort of thing.
Don't you agree?
I don't know. I've never really thought about it before.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I think about it all the time. I tell myself in the morning in the mirror that I'm loved and I'm smart and I'm pretty. But I don't think that the third one matters that much. I think it's just a nice little thing to add at the end, because I think that I'm pretty, and the reason why I think that I'm pretty is because I love myself.
I see the logic.
So it's kind of like saying I'm loved twice, but the third one is that I'm loved by myself.
It's also true.
What's true?
You gonna be mad at me? Are you ready to be mad at me?
Yes.
I've torn another hole in my jacket.
Oh.
What's that reaction?
You have to be careful.
You sound so disappointed in me.
Not disappointed, but I like your jacket.
I like it too. I didn't do it. What? Anyway, see, look here, and he like pulls open like one of the pockets, and the pocket seam has come apart from the jacket. See, how can I put anything in that pocket now? It's gonna fall on the ground, innit?
You can stick your hand through and then hold what you want to put in your pocket like it's in your pocket, but it's in your hand.
I suppose that's true. Or if it's too much trouble, that's fine.
I can fix it.
You don't have to.
Do you want my mum to fix it, or do you want me to? I know that when I fix it, Mum sometimes makes me redo it because I don't use thread that's the same colour. Or I put a beetle on it.
I know. Look, I ask you to do it quite often.
I don't mind.
It's really fine. I just wanted to tell you. You don't have to fix it.
Can I have it?
Can you have what? My jacket?
She like sticks her hands out.
He's gonna like take it off, and hand it to you.
I think that she like sticks her fingers through the hole to like inspect how big it is and stuff. And then I think that she puts the jacket on. She's like, all right, I'll fix it when we get home. How do you get a hole in your pocket all of a sudden?
You don't have to wear it. I mean, I can. You don't have to carry it. I can carry it, you know.
It's fine. I'll forget otherwise.
I won't forget. There's two of us here, Tav.
That's true.
Are you cold?
Not really. Do you want it back? She
No.
like starts taking it off.
No, it's fine. I didn't want you to feel like you had to. I don't want you to feel like you have to fix it either.
I don't feel like I have to. I like fixing your jacket.
Why?
I don't know. My mum has an apron that she gets a lot of holes in, and I like fixing that one too, because then she's wearing it and it's like I'm with her because there's a little part of me in it. And then you wear this jacket and you have like here, and she like lifts up a sleeve like in the elbow, and there's like really uneven like bright red thread. I did that.
Did you? I had no idea.
And it's like you have a little reminder that you have a friend who loves you.
Right. Well, I appreciate it. I guess it's, I suppose you feed me, so...
What?
I was going to say, I guess it's payment for all of my late night searches. But really, payment is eating your mother's delicious cooking, so...
She is a really good cook. Oh, speaking of my mum, I wanted to ask you something.
About your mum?
Well, and the jacket. That's reminded me of it.
All right.
Mum says that I need to stop putting little bugs and flowers on the outside of your jacket when I fix it. But she said that I could ask you if I could put it on the inside lining. That way I could still do it, but then people won't see it. Unless you want me to stop. I just get carried away. I like how colourful the thread is, and it feels so nice to make something pretty.
I mean, if it's enjoyable for you, I don't see why not. I just don't want you wasting your time doing
It's
something.
not wasting my time. If I'm making something nice, then it's a good use of my time.
Yeah, she told me one time. I mean, I could see it too. That's why she told me.
What?
The little holes. She told you to pull something out.
Oh.
It's too elaborate or something.
I did the little forest scene.
Did you?
I had trees and a deer. and a little bird.
I suppose that is quite elaborate.
She saw me doing the lake, and then she said that
the lake
to stop.
Well, I appreciate it.
Really?
I mean, I appreciate you fixing it, and I appreciate your mum for reining you in.
Oh.
But I'm sure it was lovely. So
I could do one on the inside, like on the back.
all right,
Really?
as long as it's on the inside, I'll look forward to seeing it. Don't forget this time to fix the pocket.
Right.
Sometimes I just get it back. There's beetles on it and the hole's still there.
I get excited.
I know.
I'll fix the pocket first, and then I'll do everything else afterwards.
We'll see.
I promise.
He's gonna look at you and smile, and you can feel when you put on the jacket. You had on a autumnal appropriate outfit.
Yeah.
So it was long sleeved and that sort of thing. So when you put on the jacket, you can kind of feel that residual chill because the lining is silk, so it really holds the coldness that he is. And it's kind of refrigerating you for a little bit until your body heat kind of warms it up.
Yeah.
And you can smell, he smells like pine. I think we've established
Yeah.
He smells like pine. And so you have that kind of around you while you're walking. And that must have been it. The memory that this triggered. And, you blink a couple times, and Lucian kind of sheepishly smiling back at you and turning to continue walking. And he's getting farther and farther, and you're kind of still there. You're frozen in time. And then you take another deep breath in, and you smell pine around you. And then suddenly there's a bump. You feel your body move, and you hear a noise. And you kind of open your eyes, shake your head, and you catch Thalen's wild, looking at you what is... He's
Oh.
What?
You look scared.
You jumped.
Oh, there's a bump.
I guess you were thinking deep or something like that.
What were you thinking about? Lucian. Oh. What, you worried about him or something? No, I was thinking about his jacket. Oh.
It's got some sort of significance, I suppose.
I guess so. Well, he wears it all the time, and it would get ruined all the time, and I would fix it. Oh, yeah, you mentioned that you know how to sew. I mean, your stitches were a little crooked, but...
Well, I mean, they were on a body, not a piece of cloth.
Well, it's really similar. Is it now?
Would you know?
Well,
I guess you would. I guess you would now know.
I think so. Maybe I have to do it more to know for sure.
A greater sample size.
Let's hope that we don't gotta do that, actually. You know, that makes me think of something. And if he kind of stretches out and, stretches her legs out. I feel like Yezi is fully cross-legged and, not looking at anyone. She's, staring a hole through the closed doors of the carriage. Do any of y'all got any good stories or anything like that? A way that we would pass time in the war is that we would just kind of tell each other little fun tales and stuff.
In the war?
Are you a war man?
Am I a war man? Well, around where I come from, we call them soldiers.
Well, you know,
a
same
war
difference.
Man. A man of war,
A man
I
of
suppose
war.
I am.
How
who
long?
Who am I speaking to then?
Oh, I'm Ifrison Bombery.
Doesn't ring a bell.
What's your name?
Senthit.
Santa what?
That's my last name.
What's your first name?
Yannick.
Yannick.
Yes. That's why I don't typically go by it.
Why? You think it's bad or something?
It is.
Oh.
I hate it.
Oh, you hate it.
Tavamil, did you know my first name?
No.
There you go. But
I thought that was your first name.
Nope. Last name. Got it from my father. I actually got both names from my father, but...
Did I get my last name from my dad?
I don't know, darling.
Neither do I. So you were part of the war?
I was. He's like, you know, like when you're backing up and you do the arm behind the thing. He's like driving the carriage with one eye.
I feel like there's like a little like cut out in the tent that you can like see inwards.
And you guys are talking to each other, and Thalen's like, "How much do I want to be here for this conversation?" Yezi's like
fully staring a hole, like
pretending to be a rock. Actually,
how many years did you serve?
For the whole war.
Really? I almost made it the whole war, and then the last year, got a bunch of stuff that happened to me, if you couldn't tell.
Well, you know, that was the year for that.
You got any good story?
There's like a moment where everybody goes, "Ow." And then they like, you get whatever. You say to him, "You got any good stories?" Yeah. You can feel, like, as you're having this conversation, you can feel this sort of, like, smell. There's, like, pine trees in the area kind of wafting in through the carriage. And roll a perception check as Iffy.
Okay. 9.
You sense is a pretty strong memory hook, as we've explored. And so you remember there's a strong memory you have associated specifically with that as you ask him, "Do you have any good stories?" Mm-hmm. And when he opens his mouth to start talking and to kind of regaling everybody with a story suddenly occurs to Iffy. Mm. You can pick out a few words of Senthit's story, like, as you're kind of thrown back into this memory. And you get sort of, roll a perception check.
All right. 13.
He starts kind of, like, giving, like, the preamble of some sort of, like, you know, like, vamping while he comes up with something to say. But you can tell that he's sort of referencing, he's gesturing to the out, like, around you area. You see Thalen kind of look out of the, you know, the window in the front of the carriage to see what he must be talking about. As you see him, you feel he's, like, going to vamp, like, launch his preamble of the story, kind of setting the scene. You get sort of vague snippets of information placing when this would have happened in the war, sort of like the earlier, like, early middle, more early than middle, like right there, part of the war when things were good. Yeah. So you as you kind of get lost in your own memory, you kind of you're picking up on that, and you're like, okay, of course he's gonna talk about when things were good. Yeah. That makes sense. And you hear him say, "I'm not usually around these parts." Brings back a lot of memories. And you hear that, and kind of as you go into your memory, he's talking about the sort of early, middle part of the war. Yeah. And there's something that is extremely, something that you have a strong feeling happened. Really strong feeling that either you have some relationship to it, but you can't really, as your brain kind of gets close to it, you feel it kind of pushing back against you. And there's like a pressure in your head behind your eyes as you're like looking for it, and it's not really there. But you can feel kind of like fire. It's like heat inside of your mind. And you can hear like sounds of running and screaming, you know, fog of war type sounds, but it's not, there's something sort of different about it from the other times when you were in that situation. And you can hear screaming it's not just, orders being barked and celebrations and pain and all of the sounds you hear, but there's like high-pitched, like, bone-chilling screaming. And suddenly that pressure in your head is gone, and you open your eyes and you can feel your feet crunching the autumn leaves as you walk in the dark with you hear around you the other sounds of autumn leaves being crushed underfoot. And someone says, "Did you hear me, Vahrae?"
What?
Oh, I said, you've been thinking about that letter since you got it. You've got to let it go.
Oh, you don't know what my thoughts are.
you kind of like look up as you say that, and you see him like open his mouth and then kind of like look over to the guy that, like, another soldier that was walking next to you, and the guy just kind of shrugs his shoulders and they like chuckle. He's like, "I just want to say you look a bit down, all right? We're on leave, Vahrae. See all the leaves on the ground?"
Oh, funny joke. You're a comedian, are you?
He picks one like up and he like flicks it in your face. He's like, "Turn that frown upside down. You know what we're going to do this evening, Everson Tavir Bomry."
Oh, what's that?
Thebomb.com.
Oh, yeah?
We're getting drunk. You're getting drunk and I'm getting drunk and everyone here's getting drunk. All right? So take your anguish and your pain and stuff it deep within you.
I've got no anguish and pain. Who is this? What's his name?
Lanthus.
I ain't got no anguish and pain, Lanthus. I think I'm the most, sparky one out of all y'all. Y'all are a bit demure, if I'm being honest.
Sparky? I think you're just unhinged.
Well,
Maybe, death number 4, you were a bit more, regularly hinged, but now...
I'm the same as I was.
Right. And he's gonna like clap you on the shoulder, and you look up and you look around you, and you know the name of the place you're going.
Yeah.
It is a city, like a major Talenthi metropolitan area called Ilalun. Ilalun. And it is near. It's safe. For the idea of is because it is near the castle, Talenthi Castle. Like not. Freaking within the walls.
Yeah.
But it's like a half a day's walk away from it. So it is from the border of when the treaty, here's some backstory. When the treaty happened, the borders were redrawn.
Okay.
So this used to be a lot more in the Talenthi territory than it is now.
Oh.
So the fact that the castle is so close to Waypoint Town is not something that the castle loves.
Yeah.
This was done to put a little pressure on him. So this, in the before times, Waypoint Town, all that was all Talenthi territory.
Okay.
So but you're still close to the castle.
Yeah. What's the letter that they're talking about?
A letter that you received from your parents that you have not shared with anybody the contents of. Mm-hmm. And it's mostly just like, "Hi, sweetheart. It's been a long time since we seen you, and we just wanted to say that you're, we think about you all the time, and now we got another baker on the staff, and we're able to increase production back to the levels. Well, not right all the way back to the levels when you were here, but we've increased profits selling those apple spice buns you told us about in your last letter. All your favorites always sell out first, that sort of thing. Yeah. It's like general kind of like update you. It's like, your mom got sick, but now she's better. Like that type of thing. And then the ending was this. You have it kind of stuck in your head. "We have so many new flavors for you here. Your favorites always sell out first, just like I said. We pray for your safety every night, that you come back to us in one piece. We love and miss our beautiful girl." And that's the end of the letter. It was more even than they typically go for.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why it got you is because of where you were when you were reading it. You got this letter. You were lying in bed in the hospital tent.
Yeah.
As is your favorite place. Doc Martlet leaning up against a pole, looking at you going...
What?
He like shakes his head looking at you like and you then look at you and see how like just the everywhere, and he's like, we did it. And hands you a letter and walks away. And so you read that letter then in the hospital bed there, having just been revived and covered in all manner of, cut, laceration, burn, all of that. Your clothes were all torn up, so you're just wearing like your skivvies, that sort of thing. Reading this letter about pies and your parents' love for their beautiful girl. And you've been weird since then, and that's been brought to your attention multiple times.
Yeah.
And so this is that again.
Maybe I should start being a little bit more careful.
Everyone here within earshot turns and goes,
What?
Iffy, you're gonna try to keep yourself alive?
One
of them pretends to pass out into another one's arms.
Listen,
Look, if you start trying to stay alive, you might actually die this time. I think you've got a good thing going.
Oh, I should stay kind of, quick and loose. I ain't trying to die. Y'all act like I'm trying to go out there and get murdered every time.
We don't think you're trying to die, another one says. It just happens all the time. You're the worst soldier I can imagine. You're the worst medic. All you do is die.
I'm the worst medic? You know how many of y'all I've saved?
And they're all like, scratching their head or whatever. And he's just like, thanks, by the way, the other day.
Yeah.
Getting that thing out of my arm. I appreciate it. You are the worst. As it goes.
Whatever. Listen, it's only been,
I've got to say,
four times?
I've dragged you out of... You don't even remember how many times it's been.
Oh, no.
I've probably dragged you out of an equal amount of scrapes. Worse ones. Definitely, I've not died yet.
Well, good on you. It ain't a pleasant feeling, if I'm being honest.
I'd imagine not. Anyway, we're almost there, and you're all, like, walking in the direction. You can see you're, like, cresting a hill that overlooks this city.
Yeah.
And you hear murmurs of ale and women and that sort of thing from the whole group. It's about, like, 30 of you. It's because the war is going so well, and as a reward for something that happened recently that you know about, but that you don't want to think about for whatever reason, several companies have been sent on leave just because you're not needed at the moment.
Okay.
And you guys are one of them. So it's not just it's like your platoon. You're not all here. There are other places. They kind of just turned you loose, and they're like, you need to come back here in this amount of days to go kill and be killed. So it's not just your platoon. There are other ones that are also in this area. They just happen to be sent on leave at the same time. And so you guys are, as you kind of crest this hill, you overlook this like metropolitan area.
Yeah.
Like cobblestone streets, carriages, horses, shops, taverns, babes, all
Babes.
that, all the things that a soldier could want. And you just hear like, we're gonna get drunk, we're gonna get hammered. I haven't been hammered. And you're like, this guy lighting a cigarette, just like smoking as you're walking.
Ain't y'all all like kind of hefty towards that?
What? That's not a group of words that make sense.
It's a group of words.
Are we hefty towards that?
Drinking.
What is that? Is that some sort of human speak?
Oh my God.
Are we hefty towards it?
You're like you don't get drunk easily.
That's not. Is that a thing that people say? No, it's not.
It is.
The two summer Eldrins kind of wink at the one spring Eldrin of the group.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm so, as it were. These lads over here, thumb towards the summer Eldrins. They're quite, hefty towards it, or whatever you said.
I gotta teach y'all some...
Do you not know that? Aren't you, part them or something?
Well, I ain't never drank alcohol before, so I ain't sure.
The world turns to look at you and says, we're gonna get you so drunk.
Can I ask why that's I know that it makes you feel hinky or whatever, but... I mean, I feel that way day to day.
You don't understand. And they're just, laughing to themselves.
I guess I don't, but...
We're gonna get you hammered, Vahrae. You're not gonna remember your name after this.
I'm not gonna remember Everson Vahrae.
Don't, spread your legs for every lad in the platoon.
Oh, you want... She, friggin' raises a fist and, comes after that guy, playfully.
Uh-huh.
Just being like, oh, you want to keep your mouth running?
Look, I've seen the way you look at us, and, we're not interested in that. Frankly, to objectify us in that way.
Yeah, y'all look so sexy when you're covered in blood and cuts, and I'm pouring a potion down your mouth.
That's what ladies love, isn't it?
War man going, oh, it hurts so much.
They're looking like, we're not turned on, and... They look away from you you've got to stop that, and then we haven't, do you know? Anyway, and so he's like, that's part of it. Look, go get yourself a nice lad, not a soldier, not a war man.
Yeah, well, I ain't interested in a war man.
Well, good.
Not
interested in a whatever it is you are.
A war lady.
A mutt.
She a mutt. God, am I ever gonna live that down? I save your life and you still think I'm some kind of...
What, lower second class citizen? You bet your sweet patoot I do, and whatever. They're walking into the gate.
Yeah.
It is a very notable gate. It's because this is a main Talenthi whatever, it's very autumnal themed, and the gate is a carved, painted wooden affair. And it is decorated at the top with two giant tigers.
Yeah.
Kind of facing away from each other, jumping, they're leaping down from some great height, and at the bottom they turn into autumn leaves. It's that type of thing. Yeah, so it's really I came up with it. I'm yeah, it is cool. They who did it was really cool. As you walk through this gate, you see splashes of orange and red and beautiful painted, buildings, and everything's wood and lovely.
You think they're all inbred? That's why they're all autumn.
They all turn and look at you, and it's just oh, you're trying to get the upper hand, because you're outbred.
Yeah, I ain't gonna come out all mess up. I don't know.
They're looking at each other she thinks she didn't come out all messed up. Look, all I'm saying is that you've got a bunch of lads here, a bunch of blokes. You're the only lass. You could have stayed home and been a baker, Vahrae.
Oh, I could have been a baker.
Yeah, for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah, that
so
sounds interesting.
So all I'm saying is that there's probably, I'm not a doctor, but I would diagnose you with something wrong. A terminal pissing case of something wrong.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm a bit closer to the doctor than you are, and I diagnose myself with fun, so I think y'all...
Yeah, terminal fun disease. And you're all frickin' doing that. And as you kind of walk in their direction, go ahead and roll me a... They are you get the vibes that you are being taken somewhere that other people know about.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not ooh, let's pick the restaurant. They're oh, no, we're going to go to the spot.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Go ahead, roll me a perception check with disadvantage.
All right. I already get disadvantages, Everson.
Not yet.
Oh, that's true. Nat one.
Cool. So you look around, you're right, you're looking wow, and you're you've never been to here before. You may have been to a city. Admiring all of the carved wood is like a big thing for clearly these people with like painted like statues and stuff like that. And every place has got like a themed name around here, like autumnal or nature related, because #Eldrins. It's all very beautiful. And you turn your head, and when you turn your head kind of quickly, something very extremely arresting catches your eye. And as you kind of zero in on it, your foot hooks on a cobblestone that's a little whatever, and your leg twists and you fully hit the ground. What was that, Vahrae?
The ground's uneven.
You can't even walk in a straight line now.
Oh, I'm fine. And she's like gonna like get up on her hands and knees, but she's gonna like look back to whatever caught her attention.
Yeah, it was in front of you. You would have to be standing to see it.
Oh, okay.
They kind of like haul you back up to their feet, and everyone is like cracking up. It's
I'm
like,
fine. Get off.
Hey, Vahrae, you listening? See you next fall.
That's so funny.
Because we're in the castle.
You know, if you have to explain your joke, it ain't that funny.
You're in the castle town. We're nearby, at least. Anyway. There's leaves. It's like they're like walking in that direction. You go to look back to see it. It's gone. Fully. You look where it was, and there's nothing.
All right. Was there any sense of what caught my attention so hard?
An unusual color.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you walk in this direction, you walk up to a tavern. You're kind of like school of fished up to a tavern. Yeah. And the tavern, you look up and you see it's extremely ostentatious. It's got a sign that is like individual. It's not like a wooden board or whatever. The letters are like cut out and they're lining the top of the roof. And the name of the tavern is the Foggy Chestnut.
Oh, that's so cute.
Isn't that cute? I Googled autumnal words and I slammed two together, and that's how I came up with that. This is not my strong suit. You look up at it and you see it's got, it's painted all like dark red, and you look inside the windows, they're kind of like frosty around the edges because it's getting cold.
Yeah.
And you can see like a warm fire in there, smoke rising from the chimney, dark wood, and it is packed to the freaking gills with soldiers who are already hammered or doing their best to make it there. And they're all kind of like, oh, we're here, the place, the spot.
What a cute name. Foggy Chestnut.
The old chestnut, that's what we call it.
Oh, the old chestnut. And make it sound more masculine.
The sexual chestnut. A powerful, extremely well-hung chestnut.
What's wrong with
a virile chestnut?
What's wrong with the Foggy Chestnut? Why you gotta call it the old chestnut?
You said it's a powerful name, intimidating.
All right, y'all are weird.
They're like dragging you inside. The doors are like a lovely contrasting dark green. And you open the door and it's like you open the door, you hear like sound outside, people talking, wind blowing, ladies swooning, the whole nine. You see like one of the soldiers like wink to one of the girls and she like turns all excited to talk to her friends, and then you roll your eyes.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, I sleep with his feet in my face every day. Like, you're just like, he is disgusting. You open the door to the tavern, and what happens is the sounds that you hear get fully eclipsed by way more powerful sounds. Yeah. You open the door, there's like a waft of just boiling hot air, like spicy air, just like folks and food and alcohol, and it's so hot in the cold air, and it's somewhere, you can't see where, there is a fiddle player. You hear fiddle music from like on high, and you're kind of like pushed all together into this tavern.
Yeah. I feel like Everson's like, oh, thank God it's hot in here.
That's what I'm saying. And then like the spring one is like, you're a bunch of babies. That's for sure. And go ahead, and as you kind of walk in, is there anywhere, are you kind of just following like what they're gonna do? They're gonna go get a drink at the bar.
Yeah, I think that she's just following them because she's like, I have no purpose in being here except they're taking me. So
How are you feeling right now?
I think that she's feeling in pretty good spirits.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she has sufficiently locked and buried the letter in her brain for a later date. Mm-hmm. And so I think that she's just like, all right, well, maybe I should be more careful. Anyways, let's drink ourselves to death.
Let's drink ourselves stupid now that I've decided to be more careful. So you walk up to the bar and they like order whatever. As you walk up, you see that Vatil is at the far end of the bar nursing like some sexy cocktail, like a not a cocktail, like some like bourbon neat.
Yeah.
And he like, you notice he's there. He's kind of like looking very paternally out into the crowd of idiot children as they get hammered, and he's just like, it's gonna be a disaster, but I can't do anything about it. Like that type of, he's like looking around like, don't break anything I can't afford to fix. And just like drinking this thing. He's kind of like hunched over in the corner, and like there's like a barmaid who's talking to him, and he's like, yeah, anyway.
Yeah. I feel like if he actually sees that and she's like, I'll go save him. Like,
oh yeah,
walks over there.
Bomry, what do you Bomry? Oh right. Oh, you hear like that behind you, and then you hear just one of them go, good luck, as you walk in that direction.
If she like shakes her head and rolls her eyes, she like walks over, she's like, evening, sir.
Oi, the Bomry. Here
in the flesh.
To blow up my evening. How you feeling?
I'm fine. I always am.
I guess so.
Ma'am, can I get alcohol? I've never ordered alcohol before, so whatever you think is good, I guess.
Get her one of mine.
Can I sit down?
He like, like nods towards the empty, inexplicably empty chair.
Yeah.
That is conveniently located directly next to him.
She sits down and I feel like she has horrible posture. Like she's just like, yeah.
Collection of bones, structure. I think he sees that and like chuckles a little bit.
What?
He like raises an eyebrow at your tone.
Sir.
Should sit up straight, Bomry. It's not good for you.
Not good for me. Well, can I speak freely? I feel like I have to ask permission.
Sure.
I would say this war ain't good for me. So I think my posture is probably the least of my worries.
I see your point. He's gonna take a cigarette from behind his ear and like take a drag of it.
I don't get how y'all could smoke those.
Do you prefer smoking something else instead?
I prefer not smoking at all. I like my lungs full of words instead.
Right.
Crisp, clean air and not that.
I don't think this air is crisp nor clean.
No, you're right. All these fellas are a bit dirty. Also, all of y'all are smoking, so this is very like I'm just doing what y'all are doing.
They're not giving you a hard time, are they?
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, I suppose I'm just sensitive to your position.
You ain't gotta be. It's, I can take care of myself.
The barmaid comes back after 3 hours because she's like, doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
She's like, how long does it take to pour 2 shots into a rocks glass? And she like walks over and puts it down in front of you and is very like slam, like hand away.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. And she like takes my leave, that sort of thing.
Did I do something to piss her off?
He winks at you and like goes back to drinking his drink. He's like,
Oh, what? She got the hots for you.
In so many words. Anyway. You smell awful, Vahrae. Go hunt somebody else.
Oh, what? You want me to go away? After you order me a drink, you ain't even gonna talk to me? You look so sad over here in the corner. Thought I figured I might lighten up your evening a little bit.
He, motions his head towards the drink. You said you've never had it before.
No, I've never drank before. I mean, obviously I've been around alcohol and stuff. We would make, at the bakery that I had back home, we would make, a bread pudding that had rum in it and stuff, but I never had
I forgot
any.
you're a baker.
Yeah. I'm damn good at it, too, if I'm being honest.
I guess that makes sense.
What you mean by that?
Try your drink.
All right. I think that she, takes a big gulp because she doesn't freaking know. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, you're not supposed to drink it like that.
How am I supposed to drink it?
Sip it. Else mine would be gone a long time ago.
Well, I don't know. Maybe yours was... I guess mine didn't come full. I don't know. Listen, I hate that.
If it came full, I would never leave. He, takes a sip from his.
Why there gotta be rules and how you're supposed to drink something?
It's not a rule. It's just...
how you're supposed to do it, a social convention.
It's not a social convention.
Well, it is then.
It's a bit, strung in it.
Yeah. Why do
You're not that bright, Vahrae.
I...
Now, as I've said, go hunt somebody else.
All right. Have a good night.
Winks at you.
I feel like she's okay. Gets up and walks back over to where the other lads were.
Mm-hmm. You can see that they're all... You could roll a perception check.
Okay. 22.
You can see that all of the guys were looking over their shoulder in your direction, and as you turn to face them, Vatil was looking away from you to somewhere else, and as you turned to face them, they all looked away.
What are y'all looking at? She says as she walks up.
How'd it go, lass?
What you mean, how'd it go?
You and Vatil. You've been making a goo-goo eyes at him since you had your...
Oh my god.
Oh, are you getting a little bit nervous about your little crush?
It ain't.
Your little girlish crush.
Oh, my little girlish crush.
How sweet.
All y'all are swooning over the first girl that you see. I've got my whole pick of it, I'm surrounded by men.
Is that what you think? You're having that conversation. They're ushering you into a seat. Mm-hmm. And go ahead, roll me another perception check.
Okay. 11.
You're kind of sitting there, you're having a drink, As you sit down, you feel something in your pocket kind of pop out. Mm-hmm. And that's what you feel. You felt a crinkling feeling, and then you felt nothing.
Yeah, I think that she's gonna look down.
And when you look down, you see a letter.
Oh, she's snatching that up.
Just whoosh.
Yeah, and putting it back in her pocket. I think actually she tucks it into her boot.
What was that?
Nothing. What was what? Look, y'all said that we're here to get drunk. I have had one drink, and it wasn't that pleasant. So.
You haven't had one drink. You've had some of one drink. What
are you all
drinking?
Right. She downs the rest of it.
Ooh, look at Vahrae. You said you've never drank before.
No.
And that was all right.
Well, I mean, it tastes god awful, but
we'll have to get you what we're drinking. They have pints,
Yeah.
They're why are you drinking hard liquor? Because right, you're trying to look cool in front of the your guy.
Yeah.
And they someone orders you a pint and it gets slammed down on the table in front of you.
Everyone here is so spicy. That barmaid didn't like me at all. I guess because she's got the hots for Vatil, but
I think it's just heavy, lass.
Oh, well, it is big.
It's huge, glass stein. I don't know if that's the term of beer.
I feel she grabs it and she takes a sip of it and she's like, all right, compared to the other thing, this just tastes like water.
Right? That's why we drink it by the gallon. And you're kind of like drinking for the first time. There's like conversation happening around you, and you're kind of joining it and not joining it. Are you trying to like? What are you trying? Are you trying to be like in the conversations, or are you trying to like hang back, or what's
I think she's probably trying to be in the conversation. I feel like Iffy's very much the like life of the party. Like she gets kind of everyone going.
Mm-hmm. And as there's like drinking, there's conversations about, there's just like, yeah, and I blew his head off with a fireball and it exploded, pissing bloody pointy ear, I saw his ears fly off.
Yeah.
And I took one, put it in my pocket, and I sent it to my little brother.
I absolutely disgusting.
What are you talking about? Would you fill him with a spirit of a warrior?
You know how long it takes a letter to get to somebody?
It'll be how ripe.
You're... I feel like she like downs the rest of her beer. She's like, you are the worst kind of person.
I didn't actually do it, Bumry.
Oh, okay, I mean, so you're also a liar then.
His ears did blow up, but I wouldn't do something like that,
I wouldn't put it past
take it off, make it into a keychain or something.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, those tossers never knew what hit them. Didn't think that we'd come knocking on their door so soon, did they?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of here doing...
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You don't care at all, and you're just here for...
That's not what I said. It's not that I don't care. It's that I don't know what they're thinking, and y'all like to determine what it is that they're thinking. Oh, they didn't know that we were coming. Oh, they were so surprised.
Well, I think... Well, it's not... First of all, it's not that they didn't know that we were coming.
Well, then what is it?
They underestimated us. If they knew that we were coming, they underestimated us, and they thought that we wouldn't succeed in the overwhelming way that we did.
Right. Listen.
Look, the reason Bomry's saying, oh, I don't know, whatever, blah, 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 is because she was passed out for half of it in the medical tent. So...
I don't ever really know how long I'm passed out for. Y'all don't tell me. I kind of just wake up.
Oh, now we've got to tell you, too.
I don't know. I would like to know the time passing from when I last remember something.
Bomry, as far as I said that with quite gusto, Bomry, as far as I know, you've been asleep for half the pissing war. The fact that you know that we're in a war is a bloody miracle. I think it must just be because you keep dying. Is it like 5 now or something?
I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I fully die. Sometimes y'all just give me a potion and then maybe I wasn't actually dead and I was just hurt or something. I don't know what's going on because y'all don't tell me anything. I just kind of wake up and sometimes I'm in a hospital tent. And then sometimes y'all are cheering around me saying, oh, she lives. Listen, in my eyes, I haven't died at all. I'm here and I'm talking to y'all. So I can't die.
They're like looking at you like, like, go ahead and roll like an insight check.
Okay. 10.
They're like looking at you like, yeah. Like that type of thing. And everyone's kind of like, drinking their friggin' pints and stuff, and you hear, go ahead and roll a perception check.
9.
You get the sense it's like, okay, a new topic of conversation, because that's weird. And you hear someone say, I wish... Never mind.
You wish what?
I don't want to bring the mood down or anything.
Well, your gloomy face has already done that.
You still... have that letter, right? Not the one you've been crying about since, before, but the one that he was going to send.
Yeah.
Do you think we should send it? Why are we talking about this now? We're supposed to be getting drunk. This is not a time that we should be making all sorts of decisions like this. It is clearly they're talking about Flavian.
Oh.
Who was killed, and whether or not you should send the letter. And it's a letter that you found on his body.
Mm-hmm.
that you read a couple words of and shoved it in your pocket and went off to go do other things.
Yeah. What was the kind of feel of the letter? Like the contents of it, like the couple stuff that I read.
You read that it is to his girlfriend, and you stopped reading.
Okay. I think that if he kind of like slams her hands down on the table, and she's like, well, y'all said that you got me here to get drunk, and I feel exactly the same, so I guess I'm gonna have to go do that myself if y'all ain't gonna help. So I'll be at the bar if you need me.
Get us some shots. I could use one now. And he like turns to look at whatever.
Yeah, I feel like as she walks past the guy that like said something about it, she like ruffles his hair and walks to the bar.
He like, shakes his head and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm fine and everything's fine. He was kind of like, doing that tight-eyed smile when you're really sad and trying to not be. He was like giving you one of those. Go ahead and roll me another perception check.
14.
You kind of turn your head. You're not drunk, but you're getting there.
Yeah.
You're like buzzed. And you turn your head, and when you turn your head, you see that same thing that kind of caught your attention before. And as you turn your head, it like flashes past, and then you go to turn your head back and find it again, and it's gone.
Okay.
Like looking kind of side to side.
So just like another flash of like a color.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're like, what do you do now? Just gonna keep going up to the bar?
Yeah, I feel like she's just like, something must be wrong with my eyes. And then like walks to the bar. And I feel like, there's like, 5 of them or something? Like of the guys back at the table. Yeah. I feel like she walks up and she's just like, shot per sick. Can I get like 12 shot of whatever?
Sure thing. And she's like, I hate my job.
Yeah.
Whatever. You're not a guy. And like turns around to go, like gives you like some bottom shelf whiskey or something like the alcohol with no flavor. Like it tastes like you could cook with it. Type thing. She's like pouring these shots.
I feel like if he like turns to a random soldier next to her and she's like, you ever think about if you were just
Did you know that what are you saying?
You ever think about just knocking all these bottles down? The sound it would make.
Oh, there's what? Look at this.
All right.
He's gonna like scoop up 4 of the shot glasses and he's gonna say, lass, do you work here?
No, I'm a soldier.
Because
yeah.
I like to buy you a drink.
Oh, would you?
And I know how to impress a lady. My mother taught me a simple trick to impress a lady of your... you are very tall. He like looks you up and down. He's like, a lady of your ladiness.
Right. If he takes a shot. And was it?
Was this? And he throws a shot glass behind his shoulder and it shatters.
If he like bends over laughing. You just wait, what?
I told you I know how to impress the woman.
I don't know if that was impressive more than just ridiculous.
I'll try again. No. And he like goes to grab another shot glass, and the lady like puts her hand over it, and there are 11 shots lined up on the thing, and she's like, that's the last time you try to juggle, all right? I saw you try and do it another time.
Oh, I know how to juggle.
What?
Yeah, and she like grabs like 2 or 3 shot glasses. She's like, well, and downs the contents of each. Yeah. And she's like, what? And she's gonna start. Do I have to roll performance?
Yeah, you do. What are you talking about? You throw a shot glass. I can juggle.
I only have a +1 to performance, so hopefully
we'll see.
Good. 19 under 20.
You start doing tricks and crap. You're like flicking them off. You're like
balance it on my nose.
Yeah, like stack them up and stuff. And he's just like, whoa, hey, look, She's juggling. She's almost as good as me. You know, that conversation is happening. And do you do like a big finish?
Yeah.
You just keep juggling. The guys all turn like, wait, Vahrae, what is this circus act?
Look, we have a lot of free
Hidden talents.
Yeah.
We got a lot of free time. You've taught yourself to... Is that what you were doing with those cigarette boxes?
Yeah.
They're like all crying, laughing, watching you juggle.
She, like, does a big finish, like, balancing on her, like, hands and head.
The whole bar erupts into cheers.
She, like, takes a big bow.
Uh-huh.
I feel like she, like, glances over at Vatil. Like, doesn't try to make it noticeable, but tries to see if he's, like, annoyed or whatever.
Vatil looks over you and, like, puts the back of his hand against his hand and gives you a very, like, gentle clap.
She, like, nods her head just ever so slightly and turns back like with a big smile.
Mm-hmm. And you like your walk. Are you gonna bring the shots to the table? She's like, you're missing about 5, Vahrae. If you could count.
Listen,
two shots.
I took one, and then the other guy.
I saw you take quite a few.
Listen, I took one, and then the other guy threw one, and then I had 3 more to prove my skills. So. I would say that's 5. Sorry,
You don't sound confident. You had 3 more.
3, and then 3, 4. Yeah, that's 5.
All right. And they like you put one in front of each one. They all like do shots. And by this point, you're feeling it, Mr. Krabs. You're a summer Eldrin, but you're also a human.
Yeah.
And you've had 5 shots and then 2 shots of bourbon. Yeah. So
and then a whole pint of ale.
And a whole pint of ale. You had 7 shots and a pint of ale. So you feel great. You are 6'4", though. So there's a lot of you to get drunk. So now you're going to roll disadvantage on any check, period, end of.
Listen, I think I might be feeling it now.
Do you think you're feeling it now? As you're having this conversation, there are various soldiers that you don't know coming up behind you and, like, patting you on the head. On, like, the back of the head, too. Like, just giving you, like, congratulatory pats. Like,
what's this all about?
I guess they're impressed with your skills and abilities.
Oh, my juggling.
You forget you did it, you're so drunk.
I didn't forget that I did it. Listen, I'm gonna go get more of whatever this awful tasting liquid is. Well, it's alcohol, but I don't know what kind.
I don't know
if that's words.
You go to get more?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Roll Constitution saving throw to stand up.
Disadvantage?
Yeah.
11.
Cool. You go to get up and the world turns a little sideways and you're like goofy about, you're just like do like a little stumble. You're going to walk over to the bar.
Yeah.
So you walk over to the bar and you're like doing, sideways, whatever. Like you're doing a good enough job that they're not going to cut you off, which is funny because they really should. And you're going to, the bar lady is like so stressed out and like shot and drinks and she's trying to like be chatted up, but she has to do her job and she's pissed about it. Energy.
Do you want me to do it? I feel like she like goes to order and she's like, I could help you.
What do you want to order?
Oh, 3 shots.
All right, and she's like pours her 3 freaking shots and like slams them down in front of you, and it's like turns to the next person.
Thank you very much. And she does all 3 of them.
What are you're just gonna stand there doing shots?
I think she just does the 3, and then she's like, all right, no more.
You feel incredibly good and incredibly bad in equal measure. And as you turn around, go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw.
7.
You fall, kind of. You like stumble into another soldier.
I feel like she's like, excuse me.
And the soldier kind of turns around and like rights you, and it's just like, you better be careful there, lass. Lots of guys around here,
Yeah.
They might, you got to watch out for yourself, that type of thing. He's kind of like shooing you on your way. Are you going back to the table?
I think that she is actually going for the front door. I think that she's gonna like get some air Because
Okay.
I think that she's a summer Eladrin, but she's not a full summer Eladrin.
Oh,
so
so it's getting a little
yeah, I think that she's like
balmy for Bombery, as it were. Cool. So you start walking towards the door, and every once in a while you feel a hand on you, and someone go, "Hey, all right," and like kind of how you're like stumbling and stuff. The door is kind of farther away than you think it is, and then all of a sudden it's right there. Where did it come from? That door, glass window door.
Yeah.
Door made of glass, primarily, and wood, but also glass. It's kind of like halfway open, but you can see through it. And as you go to open the door, and you can make out like what's going on, but your brain is like it's like instead of having blood running through it, it's got molasses. Yeah. You're like, what is happening? You go to open this door, you twist the handle, and all of a sudden you hear the absolute, completely 100% nothing, you will never not know what this sounds like, sound of a body hitting the floor.
In the tavern or outside?
You just hear it.
Okay.
You hear it. That is the first thing that makes contact with your brain.
Okay.
And then you realize all of a sudden in front of you there is a soldier lying on the ground directly in front of the door. So you open the door.
And he's outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's outside, directly in front of you, in between you and the door.
I think that she looks at that and she's like, all right, and gets on her knees and flips.
Well, you're on the wrong side of the door.
Oh.
So you would have to open the door the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when you go to do that, when you saw that and you heard that noise, you heard at the same time kind of all of the air get sucked out of the room because you're walking away from sound, but there's also sound outside. All of a sudden, all of that completely got sucked away. And as you go around the door to open it and get through, because it was open, all of a sudden that complete void is replaced with just cacophonous laughter, doubled over, shrieks of laughter. It's coming from outside, it's coming from inside, it's coming from everywhere your ear can hear. Okay. All you hear is laughter. Are you gonna keep walking outside?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So as you walk outside to do whatever it is that you plan to do, you walk around the door. Go ahead and roll a disadvantage perception check.
All right. 15.
You hear in the back of your mind, through this laughter, people saying, "Careful there, lad. Little rainy out today. Biggest raindrop I've ever seen." Stuff like that, just in the background. And you're like, "It's the bloody Oggy chestnut now. Cloudy tonight with a chance of rain." That sort of thing you hear as you open the door and you walk around. And what you see is just the sort of back of head, ear, hands of this individual, and he springs to his feet in front of you, just stands up kind of over you, and go to roll a dexterity check.
15.
He kind of stands up, springs into you. You can see he's kind of unsteady on his feet, and you use all of your wherewithal as you're experiencing all of this to step back at the exact moment his head is going to connect with your face. Whoa. Watch it there, Zrain. And he stands up, turns around, and looks at you. Mm-hmm. It's very surprising to you to see in front of you a winter Eladrin.
Okay.
And he stands, turns, and looks at you and gives you kind of a ridiculous, lopsided smile that's sort of embarrassed and crazed, hammered, all of that kind of mixed together.
You're all right there.
Sorry. And he gets up and kind of lopes over to a group of soldiers who are doubled over laughing. And you said you rolled, what was it, 15 perception or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. You look over and you see on the ground in two pieces is a large wooden F.
Oh. I think he broke something.
And you hear them go, no, he's fine. He's invincible. Let me tell you. And
I mean, all right.
all right. And you hear one of them go, I told you, lads, not even a scratch on him. Have you fallen off a lot of roofs in your day, lad? And you hear him go, no, this is the first one. And they like all start like cracking up again.
Yeah.
And you see they're kind of like shaking him, and like one of them goes, there's nothing a pint won't fix, and like shoves it in his face, and he like holds it. And you see, go ahead and roll an insight check.
12.
You can see that he looks like ecstatic.
Okay.
Yeah, like he's like laughing, like he's giving up full emotions of just like happiness, like messing around with these guys.
I feel like she's just like, all right, like fully like medic brain gone now. I'm gonna not throw up. Mm-hmm. And I think that she like keeps walking out the door and like walks to the side of the building and like leans up against it and kind of like puts her head back up against it and like looks up at the sky.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking about?
I think that she's thinking about how warm she still feels, even though it's like cold outside. She's like, oh, it feels like there's like fire in my veins kind of feeling. Now she's just getting from the alcohol. And I think that she's like patting like her sleeves and stuff, like feeling how thick her clothes are and stuff, and crossing her feet. And then I think that she feels something kind of weird in her boot and remembers the letter that she shoved in there, and remembers the conversation inside, and kind of gets hit with just like an awful feeling. And she's like, is this nausea or am I sad? Like,
am I sad?
And I think that she's like closing her eyes to just be like, no, all right, we're gonna bury this too.
Mm-hmm. And as you close your eyes, you can smell the pine around you, but it's not so cold and you're not so hot all of a sudden. And you could hear kind of like the vague like sounds of somebody else, probably, hopefully getting on the roof, like scrabbling up the roof behind you, and someone being like, you're gonna break your neck and Zrain's too pissed to put you back together. You know, like that type of conversation going on behind you as you do this. And that kind of fades into whatever. And as you open your eyes, you have this sort of like thick, foggy feeling, if you will, around you. And all of a sudden, a voice kind of pierces it. And you hear next to you, Thalen laughing. And he goes, did you really fall? Yes, and as you see, and Senthet points out the carriage at a building that has clearly been abandoned. And it clearly been like something has happened here.
Yeah.
And points in that direction and says, and it still says it. They never bothered to fix it the entire time. Does that suffice, Bamri?
Oh, yeah. That's a nice story. Can I ask something?
To whom would you be asking?
You.
What's that?
Lucian doesn't want me to listen to stories about him. But I feel rude asking you to not talk about stuff that you want to talk about. So, I guess if you're going to talk about Lucian, will you let me know and I'll cover my ears?
Well, it wasn't really supposed to be about Lucian at first. It's just something that sort of popped in. Sure.
All right.
Of course. And he's like, shakes it. He's like, of the spicy stories I could tell you about Lucian, that's not even on the list.
Oh, your story was about Lucian?
Everyone kind of like turns to look at you.
Yeah, I feel like Yezi even kind of like barely imperceptibly like turns her head to kind of stare at her.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I suppose you were spacing out or something. I said your name a couple times and you didn't respond, so...
Oh, sorry, I'm hard of hearing. Well...
What's your story then, lad? And Thalen, like, looks at Cynthia and he's like, my story? Well, yes, I mean, you know, high elf like yourself, I don't know how you would have gotten mixed up in this sort of thing, you know. A load of your folks looking for our folks and...
Listen, I don't think that matters. It doesn't matter if you're...
I didn't say it mattered.
Oh, all right.
I just said I was curious. I mean,
don't get so up in arms.
Where are you from, lad? And Thalen is like... He's like looking, he's like, up the way side of the border. Yeah, I mean, where? You know, from there. Not that I'm well versed, but I just, you know, it's quite far away from any sort of major city. Waypoint Town. And let's just say I'm from there.
Well, you don't, I mean, is this one of those things that you don't want to get into it?
Pardon me, I'm sorry. I know that you're not the sort that has that those things.
Yeah. You don't know me that well, Thalen. Maybe I do.
All right.
I was just asking a question. I was asking a question. I was being sensitive.
Well, it's not that I just imagine that
God,
you
can
all
you guys
wouldn't...
shut up. Oh, okay. Listen. This is getting a little heated, and this is what we're trying to avoid. Yes, if you want to be a gloomy cloud in the corner over there, then so be it. But can I just remind you that the only reason why both of y'all came is because y'all didn't want to be separated? So maybe we didn't think about that all the way through. Yezi, like, whips her head towards Ifferson. She's like, I don't care for your 2 cents. All I'm saying is we're going to have a good time talking. You don't have to participate. Unfortunately, you may have to listen because you've got ears. But I think that might be a bit tolerable.
For what it's worth, Thalen is going to kind of like, hello, like lean. There's like electricity between your eyes. He's like, for what it's worth, which is more than likely nothing at all. Thank you for coming with us. Directed at Yezi.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. I have an idea. Oh, yes, you talk. By all means.
I was going to
make it better.
Make what better?
Nothing.
All right. I was going to say that I'm really glad that we're all here. I really like all of you, and I'm really happy to see Sentit. And should I still call you Sentit? Or is you said that your first...
Call me Sentit.
All right.
Right.
I'm really happy to see you. And we're on our way to the king, and I've been thinking about what I should say, and I'm not really sure. And I was wondering if you would like to help come up with something to say.
Oh, well, I mean, I figured you would just tell him what has been going on and explain that you received a summons and you're here.
Well, I'm going to do that, but also about my mum and how he could help. Well, I think just by telling him that your mum's gone and stuff like that, he'll figure out. I mean, like, you know, you don't know how he could help. He probably has a better idea of how he could help.
Yes, I'd just leave it in his hands.
I don't know that he will care. Maybe he won't. What will you do then? You won't care about, well, that your mum is gone. You know, I think that he might care more about the fact that his big crop supplier is gone now. Well, I don't know. Why wouldn't he care? It's not his mum. All right, Izzy, come on.
We'll I don't know what else we could do.
If it comes to that, then we'll figure it out. Put our noodles together.
I think that we start with this, and then there's no point coming up with 1,000 worst case scenario fixes. We might as well find out what's not going to work and then deal with it in the moment.
That's a good idea. That's how I do everything.
Well, it's a shame Lucian isn't coming with you.
Well, he had the broken leg.
Yeah, well, I mean, he wouldn't have come probably regardless.
Why?
I'd be shocked, personally.
Why wouldn't he come? He wanted to.
That's what he told you. I mean, if it's for you, then who knows? That's all I'm saying.
Scented.
What?
You know me, right?
I do.
Can you be a bit more direct? I really don't know what you're hinting at.
He's like friggin' was just like, I thought this was just gonna be like a passing, whatever. He's gonna say, well, I mean, look, if it's for you, I'm sure he would have. All I'm saying is that you asked me not to talk about Lucian.
Right.
Stories about him related to the war.
Right.
I'm going to do that. So I'm going to stop now.
Right.
Right? Because you don't want me to do that.
Yes.
Right. All right.
Well.
I'm sort of curious as well. I mean,
I'm a bit curious. Well, but Lucian didn't want me to listen to stories about him in the war. Or him at all, really.
look, it was a bit of a joke is all.
What was?
I mean, you said he had a broken leg. I was making a joke. He hates the guy.
Oh, the king?
Yeah, despises him.
I already know that.
I know you know that. All I'm saying is I'd be shocked if he was willing to go see him. I mean, if it was for you, there's a good chance, but...
Why does he hate the king? I'm kind of excited. I've never met the king before.
Neither have I.
Has he?
The king was his commanding officer in the war. We weren't together for the entire whole of it, me and Lucian. We were in the same platoon, more sort of towards the end of it. But at the beginning, they were sort of, well, you know, I don't really know, actually. I just know part of it. He was his commanding officer, and he's got quite a few negative emotions associated with your man, so...
interested to meet this guy, then. I didn't know that he was, like, that involved in the war.
Well, that's all I'm saying, is that if Lucian came, you know... would be quite a reunion of sorts, at least.
I'm going to put my hands over my ears now. She does that. I don't know.
I don't know why she would have. So you're saying that he doesn't like the king, and so... But why would it be? I mean, I guess it would be a reunion. I'm not a soldier. I don't know the significance.
Of what, a commanding officer?
Well, I just mean, I don't know. But that would... I mean, if Lucian hates him, he might have just made it worse. I think that it's probably good that he didn't come.
Yeah, I would say.
Well, that's what all I was saying is that it would be quite a reunion. I'm not saying it would be good or bad one way or the other.
You're a bit defensive.
Who, me?
Yeah. No, it's just something I noticed. Anyways, I would like to meet him, but I don't know if that would be possible. I mean, like, I would like to actually have a conversation with him, you know? Get a few things sorted out, but
I think the chances of that are
that's
slim.
what I'm thinking though. But you know, I can make anything happen.
Right, but we're going for her, yes. We can agree.
Well, yeah.
Right. So if there's any extra king minutes we get, you get first dibs, I guess.
Extra king minutes.
Yes. You're talking. Do you have anything else you want to say, as anybody?
Cynthia, you ever hear of a Vatil?
Oh, Lieutenant Vatil.
Yeah.
What of him?
You ever meet him?
Once or twice.
Is he alright? Do you know?
Do you want an answer?
Well, I ain't asking for no response.
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Anyway, it's nice, quite nice that the gate is still standing at least, you know. Quite a lot of effort went into it. So at least there's that.
Oh yeah, you want to see it, Thalen? Stick your head out. It's actually kind of cool. I don't know.
He peeks his head around the thing, and when he does that, Cynthia's like, "Oh, are you here as well?" I suppose that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I've been around. Actually, that tavern that you pointed out, I've been there before, and I remember a time when this person fell off a roof, and kicked off the F.
Were you there?
Well,
What a bloody coincidence that would be.
Iffy. What? Are you more deaf than what you are making out
She
to
wasn't.
be?
She heard. She's just asleep.
What? The whole story that he was talking about was that. You just now made that connection. I don't know. It was it. What? That was the story about Lucian?
Yes, the one that Tavamil didn't want to hear. Well, either way, it's quite a coincidence you were both there at the same time.
I guess. I mean, a bunch of people were on leave for... Well, yeah, a bunch of people were on leave, so... Would make sense, I guess. I don't know.
He's, like, looking at you, like, waiting for you to explain, because you sounded like you were going to.
Mm-hmm. I can juggle. Did you know that? You want to see?
What's in here to juggle?
I
Do I have any jugglables in my inventory?
feel like she, like, takes out a dagger, and then she's, like, looks around and looks at Tavamil, and she taps Tavamil on the shoulder, and Tavamil looks and, like, takes her hands off. Can I borrow your 2 daggers real quick?
No, we're not going to do
why
that.
not?
We're not juggling daggers.
I did it all the time in the war.
Congratulations, what a carriage. I would like to live.
I ain't gonna... Listen, I wouldn't hurt... One time I hurt myself doing it, but that was it.
As you do this conversation, all of a sudden you hear the screech of some sort of bird. Mm-hmm. Just like, and then, you know, cooler than that. And go ahead and roll an advantage perception, or we'll do insight check for Yezi.
Okay. 16.
That's Hale's bird.
Okay. She freaking opens up the carriage doors.
Yeah, it like swooped down onto the top of the carriage and was just kind of sitting on it, and then was just like, I don't see a hole. I'll scream, you know, just like blah, and you open the back.
Yeah.
It like swoops in.
What are you doing? Oh, a bed. Yeah.
Yizzy, what on earth?
It's Hale's bird.
What? It's like a inky black crow, you know, appropriately spooky bird. And it has a little letter tied around its ankle.
Okay, she's gonna untie it and, like, hold the bird out and be like, leave, I don't know.
The bird, like, leaves, like horrible squawk, and flies away.
Have y'all ever thought about the intricacies of having to teach a bird how to do that?
Yes, it's quite implausible and unexpected, and really doesn't make any sense at all, but...
I feel like...
It's fun. Whimsical.
It is, you know.
It's extremely useful for the dungeon master.
I wish I had a bird like that. You know, she's like talking about that, and friggin' Yezi opens up the letter.
You open up the letter, and you see this scrawled in a script that you recognize. It looks a little bit unusual. It says, "The lack mine off your trail. Wherefore have given up finding Lucian in town. Or desert clan rogues in Waypoint Town. Hunting for the young tiefling. Stay sharp." And it has on it, it is smeared with dark purple blood.
Okay. I feel like Yezi's like, all right. And like closes it and puts it in her pocket and then doesn't say anything. And I think that Taverniel goes, "What the letter say?" I mean, nothing that we can do about it right now. So, I was right though about him helping. About who helping?
What do you mean there's nothing we can do about it? About what?
Well, some of my issues have been temporarily fixed, and also the Wethway people have given up looking for Lucian in town. So there's that.
Oh.
That's good.
Yes.
How does he know that? He's smart. I don't know.
Something tells me that's not all of it.
The second part doesn't... we can't do anything about it, so it's fine. I mean, there ain't no...
Then just tell us. We're not going to do anything about it.
There's, dozen specific rogues in town looking for Ethiod. The clan that Tieflings are from.
Well, I suppose it's good that Fingers is going back. Sort of...
I don't know. Is that good?
I don't know. You said they're looking for Ethiod? Well, I mean... if the Thieves Guild have told them where he is, that's why they said that they were looking for him, no? I think it is good that Fingers is going back.
So my fault. Yeah. It is.
But it's all right. It's not, first of all, it's not all your fault. Second of all, we've got to focus on the task at hand.
All right. Oh, don't look so gloomy. Listen, kid's tough. He's gonna be fine.
I mean, I don't know the whole story, but it seems to me like no one hates tieflings more than Fingers, so I'd say that Ethiod is in a sort of perverse way good hands.
Yeah, let's not hope that he has to do anything.
Right.
How much longer do we have?
Oh, like, few hours, 5, something like that.
Right. Well, that's not that long. Honey, I don't think you know how long 5 hours is. I don't, actually.
Well, what do you want to do? Sing a song? Look, I say you all just fall asleep. You let old Cynthia take care of everything for you.
Well, I won't be able to. I slept a lot last night. Did you sleep a lot? I mean...
You'd be surprised.
What?
Well, I'm happy to fall asleep. If you need me, I'll be there doing that. He's gonna, lean his head back and shut his eyes.
I feel like if he flicks his nose...
What? Why?
No.
Let me sleep.
All right.
I'm by far the most useless out of all of us.
I don't think you're useless at all.
Yes, am I useless?
Yes.
Thank
but
you.
All of you kind of are, so...
I don't think Iffy's that useless.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm
a bit more useless than you think I am. I mean, listen, everybody in the war told me that I was pretty useless. I was a piss poor medic, but that was mainly because I kept dying. But I didn't die really, I didn't die because I'm here, you know? So, I didn't die, but they were saying that I did, so...
But you chose not to.
Yeah, I chose not to die, and then other people chose also to not have me die.
Well, if you could choose not to die and also choose for us to not die, then I'd say...
Well, yeah, I'm gonna make those choices.
Right.
But y'all gotta choose to not die, too. What do you mean, choose not to die?
I'm going to sleep. Like, leans his head back. And you continue this conversation for the next chunk of time. I wonder what's going on with Ethiad, Lucian, etc. As you're all talking about, whatever it is you're talking about. Yesi's kind of sitting there quietly. And the words in her head that she just read, they're just kind of going, she's like going over them and over them. The Wethway clan are not looking for Lucian anymore. The Lakmai seem to be, whatever he did, they're off her trail for now.
Yeah.
And the Odazir clan rogues looking for Ethiad. So her mind is very in that part of the world. Thinking maybe to herself, I hope everything is all right.
Yeah.
Not knowing that not only is it not all right, but that it's like so beyond not all right. Like what maybe Yezi, like what does Yezi have in her mind right now when she thinks of like the orphanage?
I think that she thinks of the kids running around, people probably outside peering in, and hopefully Ethiad keeping his head down. Like I feel like she's not like there's something going on. I think that she's like
there's a foot.
Yeah. Because I think that she's like, there might be more people watching the orphanage, but I don't think that they would infiltrate now, like based off of the freaking information that Tavamil gave her. I think that they're just like, they're probably heavily more watching it, but not gonna plans on, speed running every room in there.
Yeah. And so as she's kind of has that in her head, she's thinking about, what the future for that, like what is it going to become? She doesn't know. But right now, she's pretty sure everything is fine. Mm-hmm. The idea that Tavamil saying some sort of errant comment and that having a direct and immediate impact is the chances of that are so low that it's not worth worrying about. And while she far away imagines the state of that right now, thinks about Fingers arriving to this completely like placid domestic scene, like Lucian upstairs reading, Ethiad doing whatever, the kids running around, Ethiad being uncomfortable because of how happy he is, the kids running around, Meredith, he imagines Fingers, she imagined Fingers opening the door, seeing that, and he's probably
being safe.
He's probably safer now than he was, at least with her, so she can rest easy knowing that at least he'll feel comfortable, and the only thing he'll have to worry about is you, and you know that there's nothing to worry about when it comes to you. And as you sit in the carriage, contented by kind of pacifying your own anxieties about the situation, the camera flies over the air and into the situation at hand, which is Lucian and what?
Freaking Lucian.
Fingers. Like you said, Fingers. Ethiad just has like shouldered Lucian and opened the door into the hallway.
Yep.
And you both are staring in the open door of the hallway.
Alright. Try and keep up.
And you kind of take a step forward.
Uh-huh.
And you just hear Lucian go,
Oh, okay.
He's like, looks up at you like,
look, we are not going to try to do anything. We're just going to get out of here.
I know.
Okay.
It just hurts.
I know. Getting stabbed probably will hurt more. So.
Well, what you waiting for?
Okay. He's gonna take another step forward.
You're like 2 steps into the hallway. You like look around. Go ahead, roll a perception check.
5.
You're pretty busy with the present things. You see it, like, Lucian is barely putting any weight on his leg, like, leaning. You can feel, because he's heavy and you're 16, even though you're tall. He's, like, leaning all his weight into you with each step. And you both kind of stop, and he, like, looks up at you with this look of, like, there's no way this is going to happen. And he says, we've got to go back. I've got to do something about this.
What are you going?
Oh, I don't know. Just come on. He, like, kind of pulls you in that direction. He's just, like, walking back into the room.
What the fuck?
We're not going to make it like this.
He's going to, like, unshoulder him and close the door and, like, put his back up against it to, like, keep it from being open. He's like, what are you going to do that you haven't already done?
He's like,
believe in yourself, Lucian.
I can't believe my leg back together.
Okay.
He's like gonna like use the table or the desk to kind of like walk himself over to his bed, and lying on the bed or lying on the ground next to the bed is his bag that he had. And he freaking admin, he had all his stuff with him because D&D, you know? And if you want some justification, it was under his clothes when he was at the ball, you know, like that sort of thing. It's just been with him. And it's, you know, he had the raised dead potion in it, all that stuff. And he's going to like use the bed, kind of scoot himself over to it and pick it up off the ground. He's like, there's got to be something in here. There's got to be something I can use.
Something that you didn't remember about, Mr. Doctor.
Something, that I didn't remember.
Okay, but
he's like clink, you know, like looking through things, and he's just like, if I just had that stupid raised dead potion.
What?
I might be able to do something with that, but...
raised dead? You're not dead, Lucian.
No, I can make it into something else. Why don't you kill me and bring me back to life? I can make it into something else, but I don't have it. Like, dumps all his potions out on his bed.
What do you have?
I've got nothing. He's like looking at all of the potions. I think like he knows what they are as I pull up his character sheet to read out some spells. You know, he's got like cure a wound, you know, that sort of thing. Just like potions, bottles, vials, whatever, of varying sizes and shapes and contents. And he's just looking at them all, like sitting on the bed.
Okay, well, take your time. But like, there's 3 of them out there.
I get that. Just give me a minute to think. So shut up. He's like staring at them, and he's just like, there's nothing that... It's got to have the same ingredients, the same properties. Wait a minute.
What?
And he's gonna like shove a couple potions like back in. He's like shoves them all back into the bag. And goes over to the desk, like scoots himself over to it and just starts taking out, like, potions.
What?
I've got an idea. So, can you give me a minute?
I
don't understand. Just look out. Just be a lookout.
I am. Can you make a perception check?
Yeah.
Unnatural 20.
Where are you looking?
I think he's, like, listening the door and then also keeping an eye on the windows.
Okay, you hear sort of vague and amorphous scrabbling from somewhere.
Okay.
It sounds like it's coming from the hallway. It also sounds like it's coming from above you.
Okay.
So you hear the sounds of being encroached upon, and it's like by people who are being quiet.
Yeah.
So, but you can hear just vague movement noises.
I think that there's more than 3. He's like looking upwards.
Mm-hmm. And all you hear behind you is the clinking of whatever. Yeah. You hear like, you know, whatever, that sort of thing behind you. It's like, as long as you're not looking, that's all you see. And it takes a minute. And all you hear is like him going, like, the sounds of someone thinking, you know, and every once in a while you'll hear like, you know, clink, whatever. You hear at one point a glass whatever fall onto the ground and break. Like he's going so fast or whatever that he's not being careful. And eventually you're like, okay, come on, man. We gotta go.
Like, okay, listen, they're not going.
I'm almost done.
I'm waiting for you, but they're not going to wait.
I know. Just wait. And he's like, I've done it.
You've done what?
And do you turn to look at it? Yeah. You see he has in his hand a potion that looks like, to you, is completely undistinguishable from anything else. It's like, it's not perfect, but you'll have to do.
What?
Oh, I don't want to do this.
Listen, for the love of fuck.
I'm sorry. And he's gonna like sit on the bed. You see him pop the cork off the potion, and he is going to down the whole thing.
I think Ethiot's watching you like wide-eyed, like, what?
You're just watching him like glug, glug,
yeah.
glug. He's like drinks the potion. And the first thing that we need to do...
What is happening?
We're gonna roll. So, you see what happened is Lucian leveled up.
Uh-huh.
Which means he gets another 10th level spell slot. So this is my justification that now he has greater healing.
Ooh, baby!
Yeah, because as he said, if only I had the raise dead potion. So that's that's still somewhere, and clearly not with him.
Yeah.
So if you just had the one, that's all he would have. But so this isn't going to be, we'll see if there's a wild magic effect. There's going to be a wild magic effect. What?
All right.
Because it's so, like, cowboy flavored. So the potion is, like, you can see that it's heating up the glass, and there's, like, in the places where there are no potion, it's got this, like, condensation forming on the inside.
Yeah.
And the moment Lucian pops the cork off and puts it into his mouth, you see him make just the most unpleasant face. And you can hear him like breathing through it like it's hot, like it's really like burning him. And he doesn't stop, like he's just downs the whole thing as quickly as he can.
Yeah.
And the first thing that happens is we roll wild magic.
Do you want me to
roll it?
100 67.
So he downs the potion. He finishes the last drop, and he's sitting on the bed. And while he was drinking it, Ethiot, he has his leg sticking out on the bed. The other one's kind of like on the ground. You could see even under his pants something moving, something kind of
what the fuck?
aligning itself. And right as he finishes the last drop, he drops his hand to the bed. The kind of like very last drips of the potion get on the bedspread. His hand drops to his side and he just goes, oh. And he just like starts biting like his knuckle.
Yeah. What the fuck is happening?
It doesn't feel nice. Oh.
What is it? Is your fucking leg?
Oh. He like moves it like a little bit. He's still like got his eyes squeezed shut.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's a bit.
What?
You look at Lucian as he turns his head to face you, and his pupils are completely gone.
Lucian.
It's just his icy aqua eyes. And you see him get to his feet, and he doesn't seem in any way deterred by that.
Lucian, what is wrong?
Get away from me.
What?
Get away from me, I said. I don't know where you came from.
What? Lucian.
He's gonna like start backing. He was already pretty close to the corner. He's gonna start backing into the corner. I said, get away from me.
Lucian, we have to go. Please, what are you doing?
He's just, you can see, go ahead and roll insight on him.
11.
He clearly looks just like terror stricken. He opens his mouth to say something. He just can't even talk. He's like frozen in that spot.
Lucian, I'm Ethiod, and you know me, and we are going to get out of here. There are people outside that want you and me. We are going to leave.
How are you back here?
What are you talking about?
Where did you come from?
Lucian, I'm Ethiod.
When you raise your voice slightly, he like backs up even further.
Lucian.
Don't.
Who do you think I am?
I know who you are.
Who am I?
Marcus.
No. Oh, I'm...
But you're dead. You wouldn't be here.
You're right, because I'm not here. I'm Ethiod. I'm 16. I am a tiefling. I, came from the Odaza clan.
Don't get closer.
I'm... Okay. He's gonna, like, stay where he is. He puts his hands up. He's like, I am a tiefling. My name is Esiod. I came from the Odaza clan. I, am 16. I am purple. I don't have my horns because my parents cut them off. I used to live somewhere else, and I wasn't allowed to be there anymore, and so now I'm here.
Are you angry at me?
No.
I didn't mean what happened to you. I didn't mean it.
Lucian, I need your help. Please.
Just as you say that, he opens his mouth to respond to you, and you hear just an explosion outside the window.
Okay.
And it's not an explosion of glass. You hear the glass break, but it doesn't break in. It's just like shatters like ice, like cracks around it, and you feel an impact on the side of the building.
Lucian, we need to get out of here.
And he like hears that. You see, you turned and he jumped 2,000 feet in the air when that happened, and like shook his head, and you can see him kind of like staring at the window, like at what happened, with just like complete like wide-eyed confusion at what's going on.
We need to get out of here, please.
Ethiod.
Yes.
He looks at you and then looks out the window, and his eyes get enormous.
We need to go, please.
Right.
Is your leg good now? I don't know what that was, but
I'm fine. And he's trying. You can see he's trying to get his bearings.
Yeah.
It seems like he is also confused about why his leg is better.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of giving you. He's like trying it out before he puts like weight on it, and he's like looking at you kind of for answers.
I think Ethiod, he's like, without him meaning to, and I think he doesn't even realize it, he's crying, like just tears are streaming from his eyes. He's like, okay, let's go, please.
Right.
Running.
Right. And he's gonna like throw the door open and just start like, he's like gonna go behind you. So he throws the door open and kind of waits for you to go.
Yeah. Ethiod books it out. Can he roll history on where that like tunnel thing that Fingers or Meredith mentioned? Yeah.
Go for it. Actually, Lucian will also roll history. He canonically knows at least one thing about it.
19.
He's running after you, and you can hear behind you him going like general discomfort noises.
You do
Where are you going?
I'm going to there's I don't know, this thing that I heard Meredith mentioning about the tunnels. I don't know. hiding the kids.
What did you roll again?
19.
You remember, this isn't something that she said, but it was just something that you heard, and you were kind of piecing it together, that there's a tunnel under the kitchen that connects to the tunnels under the city.
Yeah.
Or the town, if you will. She did not mention where the entrance to the tunnel is, only that it's under the kitchen.
Okay.
That was all that, so presumably the entrance is in the kitchen.
It's somewhere in the kitchen.
What are you talking about?
Let's just get to the kitchen. And we have to look for something that connects to the underground.
Meredith.
Yes.
Does that sound familiar?
Lucian, we don't have time for this. Please just follow me.
He's looking at you, and you can hear in his voice, like, as you're like running, just, breathing. You can hear that he's really not he's like trying to figure out what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Cool. So as you're running in that direction, you're trying to make it to the kitchen. For the turn and the conversation, you make it like these are kind of like you're halfway down the hallway.
Yeah.
And you're kind of getting your feet under you with this whole booking it situation. You make it like halfway down the stairs, and Lucian is behind you by a few feet. Like 10 feet behind you.
Okay.
And the staircase, gosh, it goes down, and then there's like a landing, and it turns, and then it goes down the other way. So it's not just like a straight shot down. It turns. As you round the corner of the staircase, standing in the turn, so just as you round the corner, you feel press into your abdomen the point of something sharp.
Okay. Friggin' Ethio's gonna skirt to a halt. He's gonna fully look at them. Is it a rogue or
yes.
Okay, cool.
It's one of the folks that you were talking to before. Go ahead and roll me some initiative.
8.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
What'd you get?
An 8.
Oh, who has the
boys.
higher initiative?
Actually, what is your plus to initiative?
+3.
You go first.
Ooh.
So you kind of like bounce back from this point, and you get to go first. So what do you do, Ethion?
Yeah. So he's on the landing?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this person right in front of the stairs? Like, if I were to give him a shove, would he tumble down the stairs?
Oh, yeah, theoretically.
Okay, cool. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to just shove him out of the way.
Okay. You can roll athletics.
12.
All right, so you go to push him down the stairs, so you kind of like you feel the point there, and you get the point, as it were. And then what do you just kind of like reel back and just push like shoulders? So fully expecting you to not do something like that, the rogue, as she rounds the corner, goes, "Oh, it wasn't you, I was." And then all of a sudden is blasted down this rest of the stairs. You just like get her shoulders back, and her like she goes like butt over tea kettle down this like ooh goodness like rolling down the stairs. So she's all the way down the stairs. We'll say I'll make her roll like a d6. Okay.
How many damage?
Enough. You hear at the bottom she goes, "Oh, right on my keys." She's just like in a pile. I'll say also that you knocked her prone. So she's
cool.
like fully down. And so cool. So you knock her down. Cool. Now what do you do?
I feel like Ethion fully didn't expect himself to be able to do that. And he kind of looks, he looks back at Lucian like, okay, run.
Lucian's gonna be like, well, I didn't see.
Oh, run.
Yeah.
And he is going to. Can he bonus action like as a reaction do a bonus action dash? Triggered by.
Hold on. You wanna do a reaction?
Yes.
I don't think you can do a reaction as a bonus action. Is it a cunning action?
Yeah.
It is a cunning action? Well, then yeah, right.
Well, so what I'm asking is, he's gonna tell Lucian run, and obviously he's gonna move his 30 feet of movement, but also, he's gonna dash as a bonus action, but I want it to be set off by Lucian dashing, so he doesn't get too far away from him.
Okay, so you're gonna do that, and you're using your cunning action to do it as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, yeah.
Okay, cool. I was just asking if it could be a reaction.
Yeah, well, I mean, like,
Lucian's...
I don't know, but yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. Cool. So you set that as a reaction. You tell Lucian to run?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that end your turn?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you do that, and you kind of look, like, back in his direction. And when you look back in his direction to tell him to run, there is a thief that is... He's not... You turn to look at him to say run, and he is not looking at you. He is looking to his side. This thief is going to chill touch. And he is going to... He, like, pulls back his hand with his dagger as Lucian kind of turns to face him. It glows like a purple. And he... It glows like a purple. And Lucian, like, turns to face him. And just as he turns to face him, you hear him go, "Ooh." And the thief plunges the dagger into his stomach.
Uh-huh.
And...
Was it a nat 20? Is that what that reaction was?
Yep.
Oh.
It's a nat 20. 2d8 necrotic damage, so he's going to do 4d8 necrotic damage. And he can't regain HP until the start of his next turn, which should be fine. Actually...
Lucian rolls a Constitution saving throw to see if it gets taken from his max.
Necrotic damage. Well, roll the damage on it. 1, 7, so 8, plus 6 is 14, 2. So 16 damage.
My full hit points.
16 damage. Cool. Con save, town. Oh my gosh. It's not good. You see him plunge this dagger into Lucian's stomach, and the kind of purpley white light travels up the dagger into Lucian's stomach, and you see for a second like a flash of him turn like a sickly gray color, and it just flashes for an instant, and then it's gone, and he took 16 points of necrotic damage, so his hit point max is 64 now, which is still pretty nice. Gosh, first hit is a nat 20, and he kind of like staggers back a little bit and like puts his hand on the door frame, so he's still like in that general area. That was that one rogue's turn. As that happens, you see that Haven kind of staggers back. You hear in front of you the sound of another, like a split-second sound, like fabric rustling, and then all of a sudden you feel an arm wrap around your face.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll athletics.
16.
Oh, baby. So as you feel this, you see this arm kind of go to wrap around your head, like they're just gonna pull your head back, and how do you get out of that situation?
I think that he sees it, and I think something that tieflings do when they have horns is they like kind of headbutt each other, like, you know, signs of affection and also anger and stuff. And I think that he like sees that, and his head's going back because he's like trying to avoid it, and then he just slams his head forward, and he still has like the little, you know, because they're cut very unevenly off, so he still has parts of his horns there, and so I feel like they just like make contact with that person's like forearm and kind of like blast it away.
Okay, so as you go to do that, and you're trying to hit him in the forearm with your head. Okay, so you slam your head into their forearm and kind of blast their arm out of the way, and they kind of like lean back, and they're like pressed up against the door frame, and he is going to, that next one is going to like end his turn there, and he's just like pressed up against the thing, and then I have to roll something real quick. Lucian, having just gotten his stuff wrecked, is gonna kind of like, he staggers back a little bit, and then you see him reach into his pocket, and he's gonna pull out a potion. It's like a pink, kind of like goopy, shimmery situation. And he is going to uncork it and like fling it in the direction of the rogue that's in front of him. He's going to cast the spell Fast Friends.
Okay.
It's a 3rd level spell. When you cast the spell, choose one humanoid within range that can see and hear you and that can understand you, and it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you for the duration. While the creature is charmed in this way, it undertakes to perform any services or activities you ask of it in a friendly manner to the best of its ability. You can set the creature new tasks when a previous task is completed, or if you decide to end its current task. And it lasts up to an hour. It's a concentration spell. So he is going to use that, and they have to make a wisdom saving throw, and his spell save DC is frickin' 17.
Holy crap.
Yeah. They roll a 3.
Okay.
So Lucian takes his stuff out, splashes it all over their body, and this rogue just starts going like... like coughing, sputtering, like covered in whatever. And Lucian goes, "Who are you? What are you doing here? Tell me." Mm-hmm. And this rogue, right now just, hooded, you can't like see his face really or anything, is gonna turn to him and go, "We told you what we're here for." And Lucian's like eyes are like wide, and he's just like, "What's not what?" Yeah. And he's gonna say, "Who are you? Tell me." "My name is Vark. I'm from the Odaza clan, and I am here for Aesiod."
Ethiod is wide-eyed.
And that's all he has time to say in his turn. And so that was Lucian's spell. And he is going to use his... he'll probably stay there. He's going to move... He can't move away from her or else get an attack of opportunity.
Fast friends makes them not hostile, yeah?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess they wouldn't hurt you if you were friends.
Yeah.
Cool. Then what he's going to do is he's going to move down the stairs. Does it say? It says I have to give him one task, and that task was tell me who you are. So he's going to get in between, because he wouldn't attack Lucian, but he might attack you.
Yeah.
He's going to stand in the doorway in between him and you, and like kind of like stand like he's back to back with you. So the one rogue is on the one side. So he did
move closer to me.
He moved closer to you, yeah. And then the other rogue is on the other side.
Okay.
And he's going to kind of like, he's like back, he like looked at you when he said that, and he walked back towards you. So you kind of back to back in the hallway. Okay. That ends his turn. It's Ethiod's turn.
Okay. All right. Well, so the person, he was able to whip its hand out of the way. Who's standing? Is it the same girl that he pushed down?
No.
Or? Okay.
That girl, look, I didn't say it. She got to her feet. That's all. She just stood up there. And so this is a different one.
All right. Well, this, he's going to look, can he make a free perception check to this guy that's in front of him to see if he's also a tiefling?
Yeah. Are you just doing that by looking?
Yeah.
Okay.
7.
From all you're doing is looking at him. You do not see any indication that he is a tiefling, that the one that spoke to Lucian is a tiefling, that the one that's on the bottom of the stairs is a tiefling. He has no indication.
Yeah. Well, he has indication about the one.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, like from just like a visual inspection.
Okay. I think Ethiod, before he does anything, he's gonna say like, "Why the fuck do you want me? You made me leave." And then he's going to take his dagger, and he's going to whip it out at the person in front of him and try to hit them. So he's going to roll to hit. Nat 20.
Oh, snap.
And he gets sneak attack.
Oh, yeah, because you guys are close to each other. I didn't do that on purpose.
So 2d4 and then 4d6. Is Ethia gonna commit his first murder?
Oh, snap.
24 damage.
24?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez. Ethia doing work. Okay, cool. So I'm going to say that's pretty considerable. Yeah. Where were you aiming? His face? Like his eyes or something?
Yeah.
You wrecked this freaking sucker. Cool. So you take this dagger back, and with every, terrified boy emotion you have in your body, you can feel Lucian against you, and you can see that he's kind of coming around, but he's still a little bit goofy. He's still a little spacey. You are the most competent person. You're the most with it. And you have taken on this mantle. You take this dagger, you pull it back, you stab it into his face.
Oh, God.
Right, in between the eyes. Just, full knife, whatever, just trying to hurt. You just carnage. Probably in a way that, when you sort of think to yourself, I'm going to stab you in the face. You don't really think about the implications of that. It's become extremely clear to you. But there's something kind of odd about the look of it. You see sort of flesh and whatever break apart, but there's a quality of it that's not real. There's a quality of it that's sort of goopy and shifty in a way that's clipping video game characters. There's something, there's a quality of it that's not, something is happening.
Okay.
And when you do this, you stop really being able to discern an expression on the person's face. And also, in addition to that, the knife made contact before it made contact. You felt the pressure of a knife going into a face before the knife hit the face.
Okay, so this is some kind of disguise. Disguise self, perhaps.
Mayhaps. So, there you go. You work this guy over.
All right, and then I think he'll say it to Lucian. He'll just be like, let's keep going. And gonna disengage to move 30 feet forward.
Down the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay, because you're disengaged. So you can move past both him and the girl at the bottom of the stairs. Is that correct, or is it just against the one?
I could move past both of them, but I don't want to leave Lucian with 3 on him.
Do you want to do your reaction if he moves thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically you're going to communicate, when you move, I am going to go to the bottom of the stairs. But you do know that if Lucian does move, he will get 3 attacks of opportunity. Okay,
then Ethiad's going to stay here.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to do before the end of your turn?
No.
Okay. Cool. So you do that. So right now you have in front of you the girl at the bottom of the stairs, the guy that's directly in front of you with the knife wound in the face, weirdness, and then the one who is charmed by Lucian.
Okay.
The one that is charmed by Lucian is going to start to talk, and one of the girl at the bottom of the stairs is going to go, "Shut up! What are you doing?" Super confused, and he's like, "We're here to collect Ethiod," talking kind of absent-mindedly and pontificating more about what they're doing there.
Yeah.
And kind of saying we are here to take him back to the clan. I'm trying to think of all of the information that this guy could give on who they are and why they're there, and I think that is it. Yeah, so after he gives Lucian the last piece of information, he stops talking and just stands there staring at them, looking at Lucian with hard eyes.
Yeah.
The other 2 that are in front of you and Lucian, you are between them and Lucian.
Yeah.
And they are going to... The one that is closest to you is going to do another grapple check to grab you. Okay. And the one that is at the bottom of the stairs is going to move 30 feet up the stairs and give him that help action.
All right. Unnatural 20.
Really?
Mm-hmm. What'd you get?
21. I know. So you see this
freaking
coming.
Baby rogues, and then
they're these are +2. You see it coming from a mile away, and you kind of steel yourself. You feel your body kind of like press back into Lucian as you get ready for the impact of whatever's coming. You see them; they're coming up the stairs, and at the one at the top of the stairs, you see the bottom one moving up the stairs. You're bracing for whatever it is that she's gonna do, and all of a sudden, the one at the top grabs you around your arms, and you go to slip out of that, and the girl at the bottom grabs you around the legs. Okay. And so you are fully locked down, but I'm going to say because of the help action, you're locked down by both of them. So they're both, all of you are contained, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to move.
That might work to my advantage. I get advantage attacks if I'm grappled with somebody, so.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, that's
because you're right up on them.
You're right up on them.
You're right up on them.
That's true.
But they don't hurt me at all, or do they? Because I guess grappling is an action, and then the help action is an action.
Yeah, I was going to have one of them do something else, but they can't. Okay, cool. So they both used their action. They can't do any of their bonus actions.
Yeah. Disengage from me.
Yeah, and then they like, oh, gotcha, and then they go, and like, okay, we did it. We can go home. Cool. So there is that. That's them. So the charmed one, the two that are there.
So now it's Mr. Valmoira. Dr. Valmoira.
We try to butter him up or something, trying to make him feel nice. Not quite.
Oh no.
Around the corner, like coming from where the upstairs stairs was, appears another hooded figure who is going to round the corner, and he's going to go in front of his friend, so he gets sneak attack, and he's going to stab the crap out of Lucian. He hits. 2 plus 5 is 7. 2 is 9. 2 is 11. Plus 3 for the dagger is 14. He like swings his body around the corner and buries the dagger in Lucian, like gets his arm up in time to kind of block it away from him. He like slices at his arm and like holds up the dagger kind of like to parry it away, like he knows what he's doing and he doesn't. So you hear like a clink, and then like Lucian gets cut.
Yeah.
All right, so that was their turn. I'm gonna roll something else.
Yeah, you do have to roll concentration for Lucian.
Oh, that's right, because he got hit.
Yeah.
Baller. He's got to beat a 10.
Okay.
15. Woo! So he keeps up the thing.
What are you rolling?
You don't get to know. You'll find out.
If you kill Lucian, I'll never forgive you.
He's doing all right so far. He's a friendly, so you can know he's got 64 hit points still.
Okay.
And he's got heals too.
That's
he's
true.
not like
That's true.
He's not like one of you wimpy, level 3 babies. What would be cool is if he did something helpful. I mean, I guess the charm was pretty helpful. Okay, cool. So, there are 2 in front of him, the one that is charmed by him and the other one. And I'm going to say that the first command, like, suck it if you don't like this, the first command was part of casting the spell, but now I'm just going to have it be, like, talk.
Oh, like the command was talk?
Yeah, like, I think I'll have the, like, he'll be able to command the tiefling to do something and do an action also. Because how stupid would it be if he was just had to stand there and talk to the guy, you know what I mean? So that's what we'll do.
Well, talking is a free thing.
I know, but since it's part of a spell, I don't know if technically it would be. I don't care. That's what we're doing. So he gets stabbed real good. The first thing he's going to do is...
Lucian?
Yeah, absolutely freaking annihilate with a dagger. The thief that... Well, actually, he's got spells. He can use one of those to damage. Okay, he is going to cast Inflict Wounds on the guy that's directly in front of him, so obviously not the charmed one. And he is going to cast it at a 2nd level. So, on a hit, the target takes 4d10 necrotic damage.
Ooh.
He ain't messing around.
Yeah.
Okay. He rolls a freaking 19.
Oh.
Freaking hit. So, let me roll 4d10. 28 necrotic damage.
And then the guy rolls a con save.
Yeah, he beats it. So it's not necrotic damage, just regular damage. He beat the con save. And he's gonna turn to the one that's charmed and say, "Tell me how many you are. Do you want me to count the dead ones?" "No, counting the dead ones." 5.
Well, there's 4 of them there
there's
already.
4 of them there already.
All
so
right.
There's a secret 5th.
Okay.
Cool. And so he's just gonna stand right there. Lucian is behind you. Okay, cool. He is going to use his movement, and he's going to stand in between you and the 2. Well, actually, no, you're being grappled.
Yep.
You haven't been moved anywhere. Then he's gonna end his turn.
Okay, my turn?
Yep.
All right, Ethiod is going to kind of the dagger in hand and like put his arm backwards to hit the original guy that he had hit again. Mm-hmm. He's going to get advantage on this because he's grappled by him. 24.
Okay, well, you fully, definitely 100% hit like crap.
Yeah. And so it's a d4 and 2d6. 12 damage.
On the one that's like grabbing your upper body?
Yeah, the one that was hurt already.
Okay, so the face stabby one. Cool. So you say you reach back, you stab him. How do you want to kill him?
Oh God! I think that Ethiod is just blindly like he can't see, and I think that when he like brings his arm back, he feels it like go into something soft, like there's less resistance, and I think it just straight goes through that guy's eye, like
into his brain.
His skull, yeah.
Ethiod he's just like I'm not going to think too hard about this.
I will think about this later.
Cool. So you fully stab this dude in the brain.
Yeah.
And you feel his arms like wrapped around the upper part of your body. The girl's wrapped around your legs. You hear someone from below go, and the top half of your body all of a sudden feels extremely heavy.
Yeah.
And you feel this guy kind of like pull at your clothes as he slides down you and kind of lands half on top of her and half on the floor.
Okay, so she like pinned by him?
No, she's not pinned by him. Well, let me roll for that.
Okay.
We'll roll luck for you.
Cool.
She's not pinned by him.
Okay. I think, and then Ethiod, he can't do anything. Can he disengage from her? Like, try to do a bonus action disengage to get out?
I'm going to say no, because you're technically still grappled.
Okay. Then what he's going to do is just say to Lucian, ask the names of who's looking for me. And that's going to end his turn.
Okay. Your turn is over. So, the girl whose arms are wrapped around your legs, you hear her say to you, "Please, Ethiod, your parents are sick. You're the only one who can help them." And you are going to make a wisdom saving throw. Normally it would be with advantage, but not because of what happened. She rolled a nat 20 on the luck, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll give her advantage in the next thing.
5.
Okay.
What?
All of a sudden, you're filled with such disarming sorrow, concern for your family. I mean, you had a complicated relationship, but they're sick. They need you.
I want to be back.
That's going to end her turn. The one at the charmed one at the top of the stairs is just standing there because he answered Lucian's question.
Yeah.
So he's really just chilling. And then the one that is facing Lucian is going to say, kind of behind Ethiod in Lucian's face, he's going to say, "Are you really going to try and keep him from his parents?" And Lucian is going to make a wisdom saving throw.
Come on, Lucian, you gotta be smart as a cleric.
He has a +5 to intelligence. Or wisdom, rather.
Could he... No, this is a stretch.
Right.
Could he roll with advantage because of what Ethiod told him about himself when he was trying to calm him down?
Sure.
Heck yeah.
I'm happy. I was going to say, technically, he should roll with advantage anyway, but I was going to have him roll straight just because I wanted to pay off the nat 20 somehow. But yeah, I'll let him roll with advantage. Jeez.
What?
So the guy says, you would keep him away from his parents? And that'll end his turn.
Okay.
Gotta roll my secret activities. 4, 3, 7. 6 is 13. 13 plus 1 is 14. 7 is 21.
What the fuck are you rolling?
5 is 26. 26 plus 4. 30.
For whomst? Is Lucian still at 64?
Yeah.
Okay. The fuck is getting murked?
I would do that in quiet if I thought that I could count, but I can't, so there's that. Or if I had many d6, which I could do, but didn't feel like... Just to give you a little, ooh, what's going on? You know, a little funness. Isn't that fun?
No.
No, it sucks. Cool. Alright, sweet. So, now it's Lucian's turn.
Okay.
Lucian is quite conflicted as to what to do. Because the last thing you asked him was to ask who is looking for him, but now you're being, like, lured away by something. So the first thing he's going to do is kill the guy that's in front of him.
Okay.
How funny would it be if he didn't? I think he'll just stab him. What is his plus to hit?
It's a dex weapon. Daggers are dex weapons, so it'd be whatever his plus to dexterity is.
Yeah, you see, I'm looking at that, and... He's gonna cast cast inflict wounds at is he? That's such a waste of a spell slot.
No, it's not if he kills somebody.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that. Fine. He's gonna cast a first level inflict wounds. If he misses, I'm gonna scream. He did not miss.
Okay.
You rolled a 19. You had 29
Holy
to hit.
crap.
Cool. So he kills him. I'm not gonna roll damage. And so as this guy says you would keep him away from his parents, Lucian clearly was not taken by this. And he's gonna say, "What, the ones who wouldn't cook him meals." And he's gonna take his hand and he's gonna crush a potion into his chest.
Yeah.
And the last time that he cast a cure, it was like burning, steaming, like bright red patches appeared, or inflict wounds. Bright red patches appeared on this rogue's face, and like all the parts that you could see, which is practically nothing.
Yeah.
But you could smell just like burning flesh. And when he casts it this last time, there's practically no effect almost. He had so little left in him. And the guy falls to his knees at Lucian's feet, kind of falls into his legs because you're in the stairwell. And so he's fully dead. So you got 2 dead. And he's going to turn to the charmed one and say, "Who do you answer to? I want a name of a person." This tiefling is going to make another wisdom saving throw that he fails.
Okay.
And he's going to say, "What do you mean? Of course we answer to the queen." Lucian's going to say, "I said a name." And that's where we're going to end this episode.
Oy.
Oy. It's going well.
Yeah, I guess
It's going pretty well. I mean, considering.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia, dude. You got the one alive at your feet, the charmed one. So the one alive at your feet, the one that fell down the stairs, the girl. She's injured. You got the charmed one, and then a secret last one.
Yeah.
You got 2 dead so far.
Yeah.
You got a fingers potentially on the way. You got a hail potentially on the way.
I hope so, yeah.
You know? Should be fine, I think. You know?
What's the little secret rolls that you're doing with damage is freaking me out.
Don't let it freak you out, man.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It'll be alright. Well, bye.
Bye.